And I believe any objective scrutiny of these statements from the Health and Finance Ministries would justify this conclusion.
The COVID fund came. I was given 50,000. Oh. My quota was 50,000 as a regional second vice. Then, who doubles as a parliamentary candidate for Sanargu, I had another 50,000 cedis, making it 100,000. Then the constituency were given, is it 200,000 or so? I can't remember. So I called for, and MCU was given 30,000. I can't remember. Then chairman was given 20,000, and I think the other executives is 10,000, or was it chairman was giving 10,000? But I can't remember. So I called them to a meeting. I called the constituency executive to a meeting, and I told them that fine, for me, I am going to add all the 100,000 that I am entitled to the constituency. Listen, oh, I am handing over all my 100,000 to the constituency money. I didn't ask any executive to add his money to what I was going to give to the women. I handed over the forms and everybody to the team, and we went round and we did the disbursement. The next step was, I have taken police station executives' money and I want to spend that money. My 100,000, not even one that I filled for somebody in my house, not even one that I filled for a member of my team. Secretary, Karamba, Polo, chairman, they were in charge. After that, the form and everything was not given to me. They sent it straight to regional secretary, and regional secretary sent it to Accra directly. So my brothers, where did I spend the money? When I even added everything, not even a peso I took from it. What kind of propaganda is this? What kind of propaganda is this? So please, let's learn to tell each other the truth. You may not like me, but when you are talking about the things I have done, talk about the truth. If you respond with lies, I will come back and counter, because I will not keep quiet. It is only a dead body that you can lie on. I will not keep quiet to say that, oh, a leader there, you don't have to talk. A leader there, you don't have to talk. A leader, you don't have to talk, and somebody is always destroying you. I will talk. I will talk and I explain to the level-headed people on the platform.
Altogether, the trust fund received contributions in cash and in kind from over 447 individuals, corporate bodies, and other social groups, to whom there can be no words that will ever be sufficient to convey the depth of our gratitude, and I think also the gratitude of the people of Ghana. And as at today, total contributions received by the fund, both in cash and kind, amount to 65,467,911 cedis and some pesos, out of which a total of 58,020,508.91 both have been disbursed for the major projects, programs, and activities and interventions that I have already mentioned. The balance remaining is 7,447,402 cedis and 80 pesos, which the document for the transfer of it to the consolidated fund, in accordance with Section 23 of Act 1013. It has been signed, and I'm expecting that at the latest tomorrow morning it will be dispatched and delivered to the Bank of Ghana, so that the transfer from the COVID-19 trust fund accounts will be transferred completely to the consolidated fund.
If you tell us that you have spent 600 million Ghana cedis, 600 million Ghana cedis in the previous year, at the time that you have not cut sod and you have not started construction, it is very difficult to comprehend where the money went. So my brothers and sisters, let me assure you that we members of Parliament from the minority side of the divide will ensure that the right thing is done. We will ask the minister responsible for finance to account for every penny. And not only the minister responsible for finance, but most importantly, the ministers and head of covered entities that spent the money. Because the Minister of Finance obviously will have to make the releases, but somebody awarded the contract. Somebody spent the money, and we will haul all of them one by one.
I can assure you, every one of you, that there is no place on earth where these criminals will hide. The outrage and anguish you all feel from reading this audit report is not only righteous, but also one that I personally feel. And now that the evidence related to the 6.2 billion is before us, I'm taking action. As I speak, over a dozen individuals suspected of committing the crimes exposed by this audit report have just been arrested by the Malay Police Service. So I want all of the thieves hiding in the civil service to mark my words. If the finger of evidence points to you as one of the thieves that stole COVID money for saving lives while hundreds of our people were dying of COVID, you are going to prison. On top of that, we will use the relevant laws to ensure that you pay back what you stole. Mubwezi, I have directed the Secretary to the President Cabinet, Mr. Zanga Chikosi, to interdict without pay those public officers on whose direct watch the financial mismanagement occurred. As for the Minister of Labor, who was named by the audit report as having spent COVID funds amounting to 613,000 on his allowances for a foreign trip, I have dropped him from my cabinet accordingly. Even though the minister has since returned the money, his usage of the funds means that the money was unavailable for its intended purpose when it was needed most. And I cannot have in my cabinet any individuals who either spend money budgeted for one thing on something else, or do not ask tough questions to ensure that the money they are spending on something was budgeted for that purpose. As far as I'm concerned, anyone who steals or wastes public funds is a traitor to this country. I pray that God's curse will rest on anyone who steals even one kwacha of the public funds that God has entrusted us to use in serving Malay. Over a dozen individuals suspected of committing the crimes exposed by this audit report have just been arrested by the Malay Police Service. So I want all of the thieves hiding in the civil service to mark my words. If the finger of evidence points to you as one of the thieves that stole COVID money for saving lives while hundreds of our people were dying of COVID, you are going to prison. On top of that, we will use the relevant laws to ensure that you pay back what you stole. Mubwezi, I have directed the Secretary to the President Cabinet, Mr. Zanga Chikosi, to interdict without pay those public officers on whose direct watch the financial mismanagement occurred. As for the Minister of Labor, who was named by the audit report as having spent COVID funds amounting to $613,000 on his allowances for a foreign trip, I have dropped him from my cabinet accordingly. Even though the minister has since returned the money, his usage of the funds means that the money was unavailable for its intended purpose when it was needed most. And I cannot have in my cabinet any individuals who either spend money budgeted for one thing on something else or do not ask tough questions to ensure that the money they are spending on something was budgeted for that purpose. As far as I'm concerned, anyone who steals or wastes public funds is a traitor to this country. I pray that God's curse will rest on anyone who steals even one kwacha of the public funds.
The result of the vote. So you can actually vote for a party which can punish you. Yes. And they can punish you and create hardship for you, but because you see it like supporting Olympics or Accra House of Folk, you still support, although the policies are not favoring you. It's not about party colors. A nation becomes what its citizens vote for. Sometimes we pray, we say, let's pray for the nation, that God will bless the nation. No, we have to pray that the citizens will make intelligent choices. Because if the citizens don't make intelligent choices, God is not going to come and rule Ghana for us. The result of the vote. So you can actually vote for a party which can punish you. Yes. And they can punish you and create hardship for you, but because you see it like supporting Olympics or Accra House of Folk, you still support, although the policies are not favoring you. It's not about party colors. A nation becomes what its citizens vote for. Sometimes we pray, we say, let's pray for the nation, that God will bless the nation. No, we have to pray that the citizens will make intelligent choices. Because if the citizens don't make intelligent choices, God is not going to come and rule Ghana for us.
According to the GRA, however, even without the other electronic systems put in place, it would be almost impossible to lose petroleum products at the depots. A number of players with different roles and interests are present every time to police the product at every point, and without the GRA opening the valves, no depot or OMC can load petroleum products.
The product is owned by the BDC, so the BDC must be in the known, the customs must be in the known, because we have access to. And for most of even the depots, the access to the depots are controlled by us, as in the gates, because it's a bonded warehouse. Okay, and then we have national security at the depots. We have MPA reps at the depots. So by the time you are done seeing everybody, that exercise is not even lucrative anymore. And the depot has a reputation to protect, because if day in, day out, people get to know that products get missing at your place, they are in for business. People will not come and store their products there. So even when there are no systems, it is virtually impossible. And we haven't had any such case, ever since.
It is also important to note that although the GRA has contracted SML, the readings from the SML meters are not used by the GRA for its tax purposes.
It has been the way bill figure, which is meters, the volume that is being dispensed from the meters. That is the volume we use for tax purposes.
Switch meters.
That is the gantry meters.
SML has confirmed to the Fourth Estate that the meters at the loading gantries of the depots, which are calibrated by the Ghana Standards Authority every 6 months, take more accurate readings than the meters of SML. These are the readings that are used for tax and revenue purposes and not the readings by the SML meters.
From the engineering perspective, if you have contact meters and non-contact meters, which of these two is likely to give you a more accurate reading?
Okay, so the contact meters are always the best.
We also know that the depots, they have the contact meters.
Yes.
You've alluded to the fact that the contact meters
are the best.
So, if the SML meters are less accurate and their readings are not the ones used for tax purposes by the GRA, can SML claim credit for the revenue increment in the sector? Purposes by the GRA, can SML claim credit for the revenue increment in the sector?
If you look at what NPA is doing tank gauging and also metering, it is even much more sophisticated than what SML is doing. On top of that, they also have tank tracking. They're able to track the volumes on every tank from the depot to the filling station. If all of that is not addressing the leakages that we do have, just having electronic seals at the depot wouldn't be a more effective way to ensure that revenue is actually generated from the downstream sector.
The Fourth Estate also confronted the managing director of SML with the figures the company churned out as savings it made because of its operations. First was the claim in April 2021 that SML saved the state 1 billion Ghana cedis due to its operations.
If you use the 2019 as a base,
yes,
yes, subtract this one, you get 1 billion for 2020.
It's 800 million.
Okay, about 800 million. Okay. Yes.
The company started operations in 2020. From the revenue figures we obtained from the GRA, the difference in the total revenue from the downstream petroleum sector between 2019 and 2020 is 800 million cedis. If all the increment was attributed to the work of the company, it will still fall short of the 1 billion cedis it claimed to have saved. In February 2023, SML Ghana Limited again claimed that it had saved 3 billion cedis due to its operations. The company has admitted the services it listed on its website as curtailing irregularities in the sector did not exist and deleted them from the website.
What is the difference between the ordinary thief and the political thief? Number one, the ordinary thief steals your money, your bag, your watch, and your jewelry, isn't it? But the political thief steals your future, your career, your education, your health, and your business. Number two, the hilarious part is that the ordinary thief will choose whom to rob. But you are the one who choose the political thief to rob you. Because we choose them. We vote them. We blindly say we are not blind. Who is deceiving who? The ridiculous part of the whole issue is that we will fight to defend and protect our belongings from the ordinary thief. Is it not? But we fight each other to defend and protect the political thief. Is that not what we do? Thugs will be fighting themselves to protect those that are stealing our career, stealing our joy, stealing our health, stealing our success. What a shame.
If you reach a certain stage in life and there is nobody
who can look you in the eye and tell you the truth, you are doomed. And that is where our country has gotten to. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi. And I feel very terrible as a Ghanaian at this time. This country is in serious trouble, ladies and gentlemen. We are in serious trouble. We need to rescue this country, ladies and gentlemen. The presidency has been so depraved, so muddied, so dirtied, that I tell you in all sincerity as a Ghanaian, that I feel terribly sad today as a Ghanaian. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi. Inshallah.
Please don't cry.
We shall rescue our country.
Government is broke, government is broke. But people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
Right, hello, good morning and welcome to the show. This is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. It's a Tuesday, the 16th day of January 2024. By His grace, we're live and we're here. We're yet another edition of the show. Our gratitude to go to the Most High God for the rare privilege of being alive and, of course, the opportunity of having another conversation around the top stories making rounds here in our dear Republic. I'll let you into our panel for the morning's conversation shortly, but let's take a look at the front pages of our newspapers. Daily Graphic. Council rejects parents' associations, wants PTA maintained. AFCFTA will ensure shared prosperity, Gabi Otredako. Number 1, companies failed to honor dividends, witness. Payroll monitoring exercise to cover health sector, FWSC, that's the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. Daily Guide, Bawumia will erode NDC's northern foothold. Akufo-Addo on top of corruption fight, Blay. I invested over 1.4 million cedis in men's gold. Witness. Bed bug spray kills 3 siblings at Aswasi. Cozy in record donation to kids. The new crusading guide. Children's landmine as Galamsey is killing and pushing them into child exploitation and labor. Asensu Boachi not involved in sale of government property, Housing Ministry clarifies. Kendo Furiata honored as outstanding minister in 2023. Advocacy intensifies for female VIP. And it comes to the photographs of Professor Jane Nano Pukwajiman and Mrs. Irene Natoshi Adolate, the Common Fund Administrator. Change candidate, Obuo warns NPP in Asante Achim South. NDC supporters chase out Asiedu Nketia from Tamale. The insight. Times hard. Abosokan spare parts dealers bare teeth at government. Electoral Commission swift changes draw concerns. Our desire to help Kolebu establish kidney transplant center on course. Fair Sky Boss. Massive defection hits NPP in K2 North. Israel's war on Palestine and a global upsurge against it. Daily Statesman, economic integration key to Africa's prosperity. APN AFCFTA energized for mega 2024 APD. DJ task journalist over 2024 elections. Bawumia will neutralize NDC stronghold in northern regions. Akosua Menu, NPP cares about child education. Daily Post, Ghana is broke. I'm measured in my promises, Mahaman. 3 young siblings who died after bed bag fumigation by uncle go home. We can't wait to vote out NPP government. Some spare parts dealers at Abosokai. Mass defection hits NPP in Volta region. Economy Times. Ghana cedi to weaken. Bank of Ghana authorizes 16 brokers to operate on forex market. VAT on electricity. Ghanaians go after government amid silent load shedding. And that's about it. For the front pages, we'll be back shortly.
MTN.
Enjoy the fruits of your labor, they say, but as humans, aging and physical infirmity stands our way of enjoying our mansions and homes. It often becomes challenging, if not impossible, to use our stairways day in, day out. With portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators, PVs, you are assured of unlimited enjoyment of your mansions and homes. It's a self-supported elevator for vertical movement of humans and goods at homes and offices. The original comes in 3 custom-made models with wheelchair accessibility. Call it luxury, but it's a necessary imperative for vertical mobility. Do not let aging or infirmity limit you. Get one for your easy vertical mobility at home. It's affordable and can be installed in just 3 days without modification to your existing building. It's however easier to incorporate it at the construction stage. We also have traditional Fuji elevators and escalators for your high-rise buildings and malls. Visit Lifts and Elevators Company Limited at Sakumono for your elevators nationwide. For free consultation to call or WhatsApp us on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators, the elevator people.
On my long and stressful days, I long for the refreshing company of my favorite companion.
Wow, my favorite.
I should make onions, maybe tomatoes.
Hi. Oh, hello. Please, I need to know the drink you were enjoying earlier at the shop.
Sure. Even on Sundays in the market, nothing is for one.
Makuma swaji.
Guess what I brought? A refreshing companion for you and I.
My favorite.
Angel Drinks. Nyamepe, nyawenijihu.
This advert is FDA approved.
Anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath.
I'm a fair missy way.
Repacho Bantama.
Machasi. It's her smile.
The fresh breath.
Me, Jidi said we used to Cal 360 toothpaste. Some kind. Cal 360 toothpaste.
That's Kia. Cal 360 toothpaste. It's a gum protector.
Onim Jom Kasan. Kine Kosen. Cal 360 did the way. It's cool mint. Gives me fresh breath and your confidence booster.
And you will see so feeling kika when you know Cal 360 toothpaste.
Happy smile.
Cal 360 toothpaste, anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath. Cal, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Discover the perfect blend of quality, modern elegance, and affordability with Kingdom Home Real Estate. At Kingdom Home Real Estate, we cater to both local and international clients, offering exceptional housing options in Ebri and Ikropong. Our properties are conveniently located, providing a tranquil atmosphere, top-notch security, and essential amenities such as electricity, water, and backup generators. Our strategic locations offer easy access to popular tourist destinations, all within a 30-minute drive from Accra. Visit us in Ikropong right after the Latte Junction, or in Ebri near the Ebri Girls Senior High School. Alternatively, you can reach us Home Real Estate, where your dream home becomes a reality.
We are back bringing you the latest lineup from Betway. Betway starts strong with their front two with Free Play Friday and Swipe Bet. In the middle, you've got all the control with Cash Out and Build a Bet. Plus, with Win Boost, you can boost your sports bet. At the back, they have Smart Picks and the partial daily jackpot.
You always get way more with Betway.
As you can see.
This advert has been vetted and approved by
biggest car center in Ghana, offering unparalleled round-the-clock service in autos and accessories. Nadam Autofix is the biggest distributors of used tires in Ghana, offering first-grade second-hand car tires of all rim sizes at both wholesale and retail prices. We are also the leading name in car sensor diagnostics, corrections and sales of car accessories. We excel in car washing and detailing with state-of-the-art steam engine washing machines that keep water away from your engine, ensuring a clean, healthy and responsive engine. Nadam Autofix, the first name in servicing, car accessories and car washing. Visit us today and experience the world of class difference. Find us today at Asoridaho, directly opposite Dansoman KFC and the Shell filling station. For more details, you can call us on 0503 244 266 or 0535 339823. Nado Motofix, Wukwain Sunyonko Papa.
Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. With me on the show this morning, I have two members of Parliament. So to my immediate left is a member of Parliament for the Yape Kusogu constituency, the Honorable John Abdullahi Jinapo. He's also the ranking member on the Energy Mines and Energy Committee in Parliament. JJ, good morning.
Good morning.
Right. Also with me on the show this morning is a member of Parliament for the Ngleshi Botiano Amanfro. I'm sure I mixed the three up.
The DNA.
So Botiano Ngleshi Amanfro.
Exactly.
Constituency. Okay. And that's the Honorable Sylvester Tete. And the primaries are next week.
Yes.
Oh.
27th.
Wow.
How's it going?
You have a contender?
2.
Whoa.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the MPP parliamentary primaries. MPs going unopposed. And Greater Accra, there are only 3. Patrick Yabu Amal Kanko Central. Lydia Asiri Amal Hassan, I also West Wagon. And Dakwa Newman Kanko South.
Dakwa is going unopposed.
Yes.
Wow, congratulations.
Until
I never knew. I have to call it.
And then in Savannah, your brother is the only one going on.
Of course. He owns the region.
I went on, of course. That's appeared that. And he's the only one going unopposed in Savannah.
He's the only one. Upper West, there are 2.
We'll get him a candidate in the general election.
Upper West, there are 2. Is my friend running? Is he the NDC's candidate? Yes.
Yeah,
he's a candidate.
Yeah, he's our candidate.
Okay. So in Upper West, there are 2.
There will be a repeat of 2020.
Where? In the election?
Yes, of course, a repeat. The same candidate.
IBP is losing massively. So.
Dr. Bright Baligi, Lambusier MP, and Ambrose Derry, Nandom MP. They are the 2 in Upper West.
Ambrose is going again?
Yes, unopposed.
Okay.
Northern Region 4, Alasan Suleiman Atampuli, Gushegu.
Okay.
Alhaji Idrisu Habib Tolon.
I'm sure Finance Minister.
Mohammed Amin Adam, Karaga, and Thomas Mbomba, Katale Sanguli.
Okay.
These are the 4. Central Region 3. Reverend John Intimfo Juasin South. Dr. Festus Ewua Kofi, Upper Dentra East. Alexander Kwame Afenyo Mark in Efutu. Ashanti Region 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. 3 doctors. Dr. Yao Sedu Chumbusumphi, Dr. Yao Ampontua Kuma Ejisu, Dr. Nana Yafri Efijasi, Isaac Yao Puku, Offenso South.
Wow, in relation to him.
Alex Blankson, Ekrofum. And then Eastern Region 3, Dr. Brian Achampon, Abetifi. Michael Ochribefi, New Joabin South. Frederick Obin Adom, Upper West Achim. Western North 1, Alex Tete, John Obua. Akontombra. Bono East 1, Martin Kwekwe J. Mensankosa, Techiman South. Bono Region 1, Paula Prekuchum Madoma East. Ahafu Region 1, Dr. Benjamin Yebua Secretary, Tano South, MP. So these are.
What about Ashanti region?
You mentioned 5.
5.
John Kuma,
Dr. Buchum, Dr. Nana Efri, Isaac Yaopoku, Offensive South, and then Alex Blankson, Akrofu.
So energy minister has been contested.
Napo.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. So these are the MPs who are going unopposed. And like I say, you're being contested.
Yes, Randy, good morning to you and our viewers and my constituents. Let me say a very good morning to the coordinators and polling station executives at the Botiano electoral area. I started my campaign interacting with the delegate yesterday.
Okay.
Yes, so I did Botiano proper and Aplaku electoral areas yesterday. And today I'm moving to Tuba electoral area and of course Kukrubiti electoral area. By Sunday, I should be rounding up my rounds, and I'll use the final week to reach out to people like John to mobilize. To mobilize.
He's reaching out to rich men like us.
So increase your demand. Of course, you tell me how much you're paying.
So he's reaching rich men like us.
You should tell the delegate how much you're paying. So, Randy, it's beautiful. I've been contested by 2 other people. But that's the beauty of the
How many delegates?
Almost 1,200, 1,168 delegates, of course. Some have traveled. We're waiting for National Council decision. If we are going to have proxy voting, then I'll be able to tell how many people exactly are voting on the day. But Randy is quite a huge number.
Whoa.
Yeah.
1,200 times.
Times what? Ghana. Times 10 Ghana. Randy is not a joke. It's not a joke. And I believe that we need to have this discussion going forward as a country.
Yeah.
It's not peculiar to one political party. And the stakes becomes quite higher when you are in government. I can understand a number of our colleagues at the other side went unopposed. But that does not even mean that you go free for even going unopposed. I mean, maintaining a constituency is not a joke with huge numbers of that nature. Of course, apart from the delegates or the polling station executives, we're talking about well over 111,000 registered voters in one constituency. You're looking at generality of people living there, well over 200,000. Day in and day out, people are moving in. So it tells you, those of us in the peri-urban areas of Accra, it comes with a huge burden and with its attendant demand for infrastructure facilities for the good people of the constituency. But Randy, we are holding our own. Obviously, God is on our side. We will sail through. It's not too a difficult contest, as I may say. 4 years ago, I had a very tough contest battling an incumbent, but I believe that the delegate knows what it is. Randy, in all the constituencies, delegates have already made up their minds, those they are voting for. And it's clear, you can tell. Some are 50-50, some are obvious win for certain people in constituencies. I wish all my colleagues very best of luck. My good friend Adumaku Mensa It's been fiercely contested, but I know that he will sail through. And Dr. Kingsley Nyako, and a number of the first timers are all being contested. But hey, that's the beauty of democracy. The difficulty.
The first time too.
Yes.
Oh.
Strangely, Randy, people think that I'm in my second term.
Oh.
Yes, a lady accosted me yesterday and on my rounds. Why has this road not been fixed from your first term till now? Everybody there was laughing. I had that enough. A lot of the time, people, even in the media, think that I'm in my second term. I don't know how people make that justification. I was making the point. I'm just 3 years old in Parliament, in my first term. And the number of interventions I've brought to the constituency, people still judge me by how long you've been in power. People think that I'm in my second term or more. But I think that is all because of perhaps...
Maybe because you are an appointee in the first term, they assume that...
Well, but I'm not in Parliament. But
you've just done 3 years.
Yeah, just only 3 years. Just only 3 years. But I have confidence in my delegates that they return me to the polls again, and hopefully will maintain the seat for the party. But
the two contesting you have, did they contest you the previous
No. The last 4 years we were 5.
Okay.
So they haven't shown up again, including the let me say a very good morning to my predecessor, the former MP who I defeated in the last primary. He's thrown his weight behind me. Okay. He's told his people that, look, it's about time to continue. And he thinks that I'm doing a very good job, and he wants the people to...
What's his name?
Honorable Alhaji Habib Saad.
Okay.
He's a former MP for the constituency. Yes. So all those I contested with, they are not contesting again. And almost all of them are supporting me. So new people are testing their pulse. Okay. It's the beauty of democracy.
All right. We wish you well.
Thank you. Well. Not only that, but after I see my good friend JJ.
Okay. All right. JJ, before I get to you, imagine getting rewarded for doing something you already do every single day. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, that's exactly what Momo season is all about. And when it comes to primaries, Momo. Okay. So there's something for everyone. Download the Momo app on Play Store or the App Store and use Momo Pay for your day-to-day transactions to a merchant, either through the QR code or merchant ID, and stand a chance of winning 1,000 Ghana cedis weekly and other amazing prizes. Our merchants are also not left out of the reward. Receive payments and win. Keep using your Momo Pay on the Momo app and get rewarded. There are lots and lots of exciting prizes for everyone. So what are we doing today? Transact more with Momo Pay, earn more points, and win big this Momo season. Visit www.momomerchantapplication.mtn.com.gh for your Momo for Business account today. It's a Momo season, so just Momo it with Momo Pay. Terms and conditions apply. And if you're looking for the right toothpaste for your kids, then look no further. Get the Kel Kids toothpaste flavored with strawberry that gives a perfect taste for kids and makes them develop a personal attitude and love for brushing their teeth always. Kel Kids toothpaste protects child's gum, prevents cavities, and makes the teeth strong and healthy with freshness all day. Kel Kids toothpaste is recommended for children between the ages of 2 and 6. It's a product from Samara Company Limited, producers of Sasso, and is approved by the Food and Drugs Authority. Kel Kids, happy smile. And the pains of climbing the stairs when not exercising could be challenging for all ages, but worry no more. Lifts and elevators have got you covered with the best portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators on the market today. It's a simple self-supported elevator for both homes and offices, and guess what? It can lift your goods too. Wheelchairs can fit in, and they come in 3 custom-made models. It's affordable and can be installed within 3 days. Visit Lifts and Elevators at Sakumon or just call them on 0200535515 or send a mail to elevatorsgh@gmail.com for consultations and the best solutions in easy vertical movements. Let's talk about alternative medicine, because Amen Alternative Medical Hospital is one of the best alternative medicine hospitals in Ghana today. So for all your health consultations, counseling, physiotherapy, and homeopathic medicine, Amen Alternative Medical Hospital has the best for you. It is the first to modernize herbal and homeopathy medicine in Ghana. They have the best medical practitioners from KNUST with a state-of-the-art medical equipment created for your need. The most obscure ailments can be diagnosed and taken care of. Amen Alternative Medical Hospital is at Klagon on the Lashibi Ashaman Road near the Underbridge. And they're open from Monday to Saturday. That's from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Sundays from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. You can reach them on 0207-229-505 or 0244-227-192 to book your appointments. Amen Alternative Medical Hospital, God is the healer. Now, you're just wrapping up on the MPP primaries. It looks like you have had yours. You went on a post, right? Yes. And it looks like there will be quite some serious focus on Bantama and Kaswa is what? Ewutu Senya East.
That's how
Showing.
Showing.
Yeah, showing.
Okay. It appears that those will be the two showdown constituencies.
But nothing has been said in Kaswa yet.
Oh.
Yes, I mean, let's credit Honorable Kennedy Jepong. He hasn't made any comment.
No, I have watched.
No, he's yet to go there.
Yes, but I've watched the tape where he has mentioned names. And the names includes the MP for that area.
Yes. Yes. And he was even more vociferous on that. The truth is that whether I like it or not, there'll be casualties. That's the first thing. It's almost impossible to have 100% retention when it comes to primaries. The NDC had a similar one, and history will tell you that it will always happen. Even in the general election, it would always happen. The question is who would be the casualty. You only get to know after the primaries. And normally everybody goes into an election confident, because hardly would you go and meet delegates, and delegates will say that's for you, won't vote for you. They would always talk to you, they would applaud you, and eventually, especially with the challenge facing some of these incumbent MPs. And like Sly just said, a road has not been constructed. There's a minister of roads, there's a finance minister, and yet the MP is held responsible for the inability of the construction of the road. Even some of us who are opposition MPs, sometimes our constituents think that we can come and influence President Akufo-Addo to construct our roads. And so it's not easy. Being an incumbent, it comes with a lot of challenges. I would use myself as an example. You know, my brother being a cabinet minister and having all the leverage, naturally would have more resources, would have more opportunities than I do. And so, more often than not, you go to some village and the comparisons are your junior brother. Your junior brother. Yes, it's always your junior brother, your junior brother. And you spend a lot of time trying to convince them that, look, we are fighting to come to power, and when we come to power...
So, JJ, just a little interruption, but it's important. So, you know, I went through the list of those who are running on a post. But I received this text. The list is provisional. There are some appeals before the appeals committee.
Pending.
It may change the list, and NEC has the power to vary the list. NEC will meet tomorrow to finalize the list. This is from Justin Kodua Frimpong, the General Secretary of the MPP.
He has a point.
Yes.
He has a point because
it's a provisional list.
So please don't start waving your white handkerchief.
Yes.
Interestingly,
it's good he brought this clarity.
There was balloting right after vetting.
Okay.
We didn't wait for the outcome of the appeal processes, especially where we have appeal processes. They should have waited for balloting after the appeal processes. But once balloting has been done, it's almost difficult.
So you take the next, you take the next one. So
yes,
if it's only one, the person who will be cleared will be number 2.
Yeah, number 2, yeah. So, I mean, it remains a provisional list, because you have some few. Once NEC is meeting tomorrow, they will clear all that.
Yeah. So, thank you, General Secretary, for that clarity. And so, these are the challenges you face. And the truth is that the MPP is unpopular. That's a fact. In fact, the same General Secretary has said that those who are becoming a stumbling block should jump the boat even before they are kicked out, in terms of some of your appointees. He is on record to have said that, and that some of them are making the government very, very unpopular. The other
when
one,
you listen to a number of their supporters, they re-echo what the General Secretary said.
Yeah, that's true. He's only re-echoing
they think that there are people who are tired.
Yes.
There are people who perhaps they really have no motivation.
That is true. That's true.
And they should just clear the way for those who...
I think the General Secretary was just re-echoing the information he's picked from the base. The other one has to do with some powerful people in office of appointment who are trying to unseat some MPs. So if you take some constituencies, once you become the candidate, it's like a fiat. You are almost guaranteed that you get to Parliament because there are safe seats. And so the real battle comes at the primaries, where people try to unseat you. And you are seeing some chief executives who are determined. And the classical case has to do with the controller and accountant general. And I'm very surprised that he's still at post, though. I thought that on the basis of principle, fair play, and even to have the freedom to and peace of mind to campaign. If I were him, I would have just exited without any push. Even if he does not win the primaries and he stays on, it becomes difficult. I mean, having gone that route, it becomes very, very difficult to command that kind of respect in that office. And so I wish all of them well. My very good friend, I can only wish you well. I honestly have somebody, I don't think I should mention her name. I wish her well. I wish her well. She knows herself. I wish her very, very well.
I know.
In Greater Accra. No, in Greater Accra.
Okay. I know.
Oh, not in her. She's my very good friend.
I know.
Okay. And I pray for her.
Only pray for her. I know her.
You pray that she survives.
I'm biased on that. I must be frank.
Okay.
She's my very good friend. And yesterday I was telling my wife.
Is she an incumbent MP?
An incumbent.
Oh, but then we can easily check. Greater.
No. I have to see the finance committee people.
She's facing stiff competition.
Really?
Yeah. So yesterday I was telling my wife, Charlie, our sister is facing very stiff competition. She's very good. She's very affable. She does it.
In the primaries.
Yeah, she's very hard working on the finance committee as well.
Oh, so, finance committee.
I think I've actually given her a let's see how it goes. I think that after this, then we'll have the main election. All of us are having very tough competitions. I'm not taking my constituency lightly at all. And I'm ramping up my campaign because I say that it would be a disaster if I'm not an MP in the John Mahama administration next year. I mean, that's what I keep telling my constituents. Look, my executive was sacrificed for 8 years. It's been very difficult. It's not easy being an opposition MP. It's not easy. I mean, if you come to the district, they have a district chief executive, they have a NADMO coordinator, health insurance, youth employment, mention them. All of that is held by the MPP. The only person who has to hold the constituency together is the MP. And I'm determined to hold the constituency. So I keep
interestingly, by virtue of our arrangements, none of these people is accountable to the constituency.
No, even the DC.
That's the crazy part about it. None of them is accountable to the constituency.
That is true.
Meanwhile, they are those who have control over resources of the state. Yet they are not accountable to the people. But it's the MP who doesn't control the purse, who is rather held accountable.
That is true.
The biggest mistake this country made was to have rejected the proposal for election of MMDCs. And I think it should come back to the table for discussion. We need to revisit that conversation.
I mean, in life, at every stage, you keep evaluating. And so some of us are really determined to work extremely hard, not just to win, but to increase the numbers. If you take Savannah region, for instance, my constituency is the largest in terms of the numbers. In fact, we are like more than twice some of the constituencies. And JM usually does well. He gets to around almost 20,000 difference. And so we're determined to power him up and to ensure that he gets the maximum. And I pray that I have the opportunity to win again so I can serve under President Mahama. And so, Randy, let's see how it goes. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
So a young friend of mine who's now a lawyer, and Idi Muaidin is in the MPP. He also sent something on this. He says, in fact, as part of our vetting protocols, the committee is required to tell the candidates that the balloting is not conclusive. We only do the balloting because the committee may not be able to meet the candidates again after the next meeting.
Very well.
Yeah.
Very well. Yeah, they said so to all of us.
Okay.
They said so to all of us. And I think that most people, where there are issues, they are aware and they are waiting for the outcome of them. Some have actually appealed the process. There's an appellate process, and once it's been engaged, the party.
So I'm sure tomorrow
after
that meeting, then we would have the final list.
We'll have the final list. Okay. But some people were disqualified at the vetting process, and they had to petition. And so they've engaged the appellate body. And I think that all these appeals will come before the NEC for final determination of the matter. And I think that we've done it before. We're going to do it once again. I think that so far, generally, the conduct has been quite peaceful and successful. We haven't had too many issues like previous times, and I give it up to. If you appear before the vetting committee, the people in fact, the national officers the people they put at the vetting committees, and Randy, it is obvious. This time, there's no match. They've given us every opportunity. If your constituency executives are frustrating you, you can go to region or even upload the forms online. So nobody will say that he's been denying
they closed the office
or anything. Though gone are the days where the chairman will tell you, I'm in Accra, I'm on the bus to the constituency. By the time the chairman arrived, the nomination had been closed.
You go online.
Yeah, so you
don't go to anybody chairman's office. Yeah, you just go online.
The forms have been uploaded.
You have the ID number.
Yeah, then you put it out there.
You put it there, you fill it,
and
submit it to national.
Yeah. So clearly, there's no process of stampeding anybody out of the process.
So Sly, there was an issue which partly led to the fixing of the date for your primaries this year. Yeah. One had to do with government business in Parliament and the way the numbers are. The fact that you needed all the MPs' attention in there, especially for where you had executives. Now, with what is going on in some of the constituencies, some of the disqualification, people being contested and all that, the issue of government business after 27th of January has come up again.
Yeah. Randy, it is true. At the time we were hoping to conduct our primaries, obviously we had 2024 budget coming up. Combining that with campaigning, honestly speaking, as I sit here, but for the fact that I'm in Accra, you won't get me on this show.
Yeah, true.
You won't get me on this show. And you won't get a number of the people. Judging from the intensity of contest some of our colleagues are getting from CEOs and very influential people in our party, it was almost impossible to get attention of members to come to the house to do government business. And that was very, very important. So we had the caucus meeting and we agreed on the proposals as it were. The difficulty of this decision that we have to make the biggest of sacrifice is having to combine these primaries with Christmas, school reopening, and then the cost of the primaries itself. So you are running for election, delegate 1,000 plus, the awards are going to school. You can't turn a blind eye. There's Christmas itself. You can't turn a blind eye to Christmas. So the MPs are making the most sacrifice in this time. But we took that decision in the best interest of government and the good people of this country, that you have equal numbers in Parliament. Touch wood. Something happens to somebody on the campaign tour and all that. What happens to government business? So painfully, we had to take that decision, but in the best interest of our country. And I think that when we met as a caucus, we considered all these things and we realized that, look, let's push the primaries after the 2024 budget. And the processes we go through. And it was fiercely debated. You need everybody, committees and all that. Today, if we are to do government business today, you will not get everybody in the chamber. Because I call colleagues, it's difficult to reach them. And they'll call you after 2-3 hours and tell my brother, I'm hot. And it's everywhere. Even cabinet ministers are on siege. So you can imagine what is happening. You are in Accra, somebody is at your backyard. Some of us in Accra, you can go in and out. And I have a lot of meetings scheduled. I have to skip early morning meetings. And I'll go back to it. What about somebody going to Ofinso? Somebody going to Zabzugu? Somebody going to Hamele?
Right.
It's almost impossible to combine that with the primary. So I think we took that decision in the best interest of the party. However, it's a huge cost to members of Parliament, having to deal with Christmas, having to deal with school reopening, and then you are dealing with the delegates themselves and the election itself, or in a new year. We are still in a new year. So those you've not been able to reach out to, who are not even delegates, you've not been able. People here, you are having the meeting and they'll troop there. So it's Christmas, it's New Year. They are waiting. And so you can't do without all these things. But it's a huge cost. And I think that going forward, if we could be spared that, maybe perhaps we'll do that before the budget.
When all the primaries are done and everything, on the basis of this, I'm going to raise an issue of the fight against corruption and whether we're just being hypocritical about it or not as a people. I would. And there are many things that I'd raise that we've taken for granted and we now even take them as a way of life. And for me, they are the core of the fight against corruption. I mean, forget about the fact that some of us are extremely greedy, that we even go after money that our next generations don't need at the detriment of the state. But there are many things that we now have taken them as part of the system and a way of life that really engender corruption, that we really don't think about. But
I pity MPs who are non-ministers. They serve on no board and they virtually have no influence. It's very, very difficult because I experience it, and I live it because it's not easy. Assuming you have two candidates, Sligo said that, look, affirmative action bill, I really want to go and champion it. I want to ensure that education, we pass these laws, we do that. And the other MP says, look, when I go there, I won't do anything. Every Sunday when you have funerals, I would avail myself. And your guess is as good as mine. So, like you said, we must continue to deepen the system. Well, recently I had a tough one. It's a personal experience, but maybe I think I share. I went to the constituency, and apparently in the Damango constituency, some 5 people had been employed, I think through my brother's ministry or something. And my people were very agitated. But why don't you go and see your brother and tell him that at least he should have given you 2 so that you give it to the NDC members? I said, okay, fine. But, Jawama is coming to power. So assuming there's an opportunity, but that's a done deal. Assuming there's an opportunity, be careful. And say I have opportunity for say 4 people. And I said, okay, my brother is also is in Damango. So let me give 2 to the NDC people and ask him to bring 2 MP people.
How
so
will you take it?
The whole crowd. They said, no, we'll not agree. It's not going to work. How can we struggle and bring them? I said, well, that's how it works. Yeah. That's how it works. So I really pity I call them opposition MPs in government because the truth is that you have 2 MPs. One is a minister, the other is not. They are next door constituency or neighbors. The other is doing a lot because as a minister, naturally, there's some leverage that you have. And the other is seated. What will happen? So it's not easy.
Will the amendment of, is it 78, where majority of ministers must come from Parliament?
Yes.
It's 78, right?
If I had my way,
yes,
separate them.
Yes.
Not just
so. My
question
question is, will that help in diffusing this thing? Because
it can.
Because you see, to a large extent, the probability of you getting to the executive is higher if you are in Parliament.
Yes.
Because the law says that majority must come. So, and it's easier to also catch even the eye of the president if you are in there.
Yeah.
There is also the issue of those who will go to Parliament for security. But largely, my thinking is that, and my issue with this 78 has to do with the independence and the assertiveness of Parliament. That I believe that Parliament can be more independent and be more assertive if that were to happen. And 2, like in other jurisdictions, you really find people who want to make a career in Parliament, who want to focus on parliamentary work, go there. And then those who want to be in the executive will then find their way.
You are right. If I had my way.
I mean, Randy, look, in Parliament today, I've come to learn a lot of things I didn't know before I entered Parliament. And I'm saddened by the exit of about 22 of our senior colleagues leaving Parliament. How could you lose somebody like Joe Wise, Atachia, Joe Gate, Obiamwa? No, Obiamwa is contesting.
Atachia is not coming back.
No, he's contesting.
Atachia is not coming back.
He's not coming back.
Oh.
Andy, there's a serious problem. And I think that we must really look at this true separation of powers. I call it true separation of powers.
But you see the pressure. Immediately you do 2 terms. Then they start in Sioche or Tuamua.
No, but you see,
and then 3 terms. When we can, once you do 3 terms, you are
you find CEOs who, at the end, when the president is exiting, some have made. They are going to make 8 years with the president. They think that the safest place is to come to Parliament.
Yes.
But if you think your expertise in the corporate world will be needed by the next president.
Which expertise?
No, but I think the one somebody has been in an industry for 8 years, obviously the person might have garnered some experience necessary for that sector. Even if not directly appointed as a CEO to continue, you could be of a as a resource to the government. But you see, when it is clear that majority of ministers will come from Parliament, then the person having served as a CEO is aiming to become a minister. Is aiming to become a minister. So not going to Parliament to do the parliamentary work, but going to Parliament to be considered as a minister.
That's true. That's true.
So we mix up the whole thing. And you see, if you come to Parliament and you think that by virtue of where you're coming from, you can understand the parliamentary procedures by dint of the fact that you are coming, you will miss it. You miss it. The story of Joe Wise, that he was a DVLA boss, he was a lawyer, he came to Parliament. It took him more than 2-3 years to be able to settle properly in parliamentary procedure. And you've spent a lot of money on training these people. 4 years, 8 years, they are kicked out. I'm really alarmed about the level of attrition, what we are going to encounter, because like you said, obviously you have some casualties going into these primaries. Add that to the 22 who are not returning to Parliament again. Dr. Mafo, very fantastic gentleman, Oforikrom MP, when it comes to environment. He's traveled world over.
He's done what, 2 terms?
2 terms. Such a fantastic, energetic young man. He's living. And a number of them are not coming back. And the Japan, Atachia, Joe Wise, I mean, all of them. It's a huge vacuum. If anybody tells you that, oh, a new set of people are coming, yes, they are coming. It will take them time. The experience of Che, Joe Wise, Atachia, Joe Gate, these guys, these are experiences built over 16, 20 years. It won't take you 4 years to be able to fill that kind of vacuum that they are living. And it is not only for the MPP, but for Parliament as an institution. And we really, really need to look at it, the level of attrition, and have true separation of powers. If you think that you want to contribute your quota to support your country in Parliament, there are people in other jurisdictions who have served for 40 years. I was in Sweden and I met a legislator who had been there for 38 years. And in UK you have 40 years old service in Parliament and all that. We know. But obviously the kind of pressure, the kind of what people go through, for your own health, your family will advise you not to continue. And I know majority of people taking this decision, obviously what are they looking for? They are okay, so why should you be subjected to all these problems that we are talking about? I think that the decentralization proper, the role of these assemblies in local development, we really need to revisit that to take some of the pressure off members of. Obviously, you go for the contest, so you are the one that people reach out to. So I don't blame the constituents. It is I go for contest. Yes, like somebody accosted me on matters of sanitation. Why should an MP be accosted on matters of sanitation when the local assembly is the one who take the daily tools from them and ensure that your place is clean? The person says, why you came to my house and knocked at my door? So why? I don't know.
You are the one I know.
It doesn't know any MC. It doesn't know anybody. There are sanitary officers at the various municipal assemblies. They don't even know the heads of department at assemblies. People don't know them. And there's no community engagement for them to even explain policies of the assemblies to them. And then the local the assembly members themselves, there's no resource for them to be able to engage their communities. That's another thing that I serve on a local government committee. We're making that point that look, until we have some fund for assembly members to be able to do community sensitization on matters of local governance, we'll keep putting all the pressure on the members of, because I've been meeting landlord associations, churches and all that. These are what the assembly members should do, and invite the members of Parliament on matters of law, what is happening in Parliament, to even shed light on some of these things. But every responsibility is on an MP now. But I think that we must deepen democracy the more and continuously call for true separation of powers. Right. Until we get there, we'll continue to have these problems.
So, before we take the break, before the year ended, there was one of the issues you raised, which has to do with the Torrentco deal. Mm-hmm. You raised that issue. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, 2 executives of the General Transport Petroleum Chemical Workers Union, GTPCWU, you know that union, mm-hmm. have been interdicted. GTPCWU, General Transport Petroleum Chemical Workers Union. They've been interdicted over the controversial deal between Temoyo Refinery and Torrentco. The action, which was taken by the TOR Board of Directors, takes immediate effect. And one of the interdicted persons, Anthony Jojo Kumsin, who is the chairman of the Petroleum Union Senior Staff Association, confirmed this on Adom FM's morning show, Jasun Sem, yesterday. Mr. Kumsin said they have been interdicted for disclosing vital information on the Torrentco deal at a press conference. The board argued that they breached the non-disclosure agreement they undertook, not to disclose the details of the draft Torrentco lease and O&M agreement, citing Article 43.4 VII of the Collective Bargaining Agreement CBA between TOR and GTPCWU. But Mr. Kumsin contends that the board acted in bad faith because his action was in accordance with the Whistleblower Act. Quote, "We alerted management about the shortfalls in the deal, and they told us they can't respond to the issues because the board is solely in charge. We wrote to the board, and to date they haven't responded to us, so we just had to do the needful by making the issue public." Mr. Kumsin warned the board should not for any reason think the interdiction will gag him. Quote, "This is the biggest mistake by the board because it will not end here. The mandate of the board is not to micromanage management. It is management who is to take disciplinary action, but this clearly shows the incompetence of the board and the fact that they do not understand their job." He urged that. Meanwhile, GTPCWU has threatened an industrial action over the interdiction and the deal.
Yes, so we're talking of Jojo Kumsin.
Yes, you know him
very well. Okay. Very well. Let me just state this in unequivocal terms, that we're going to fight this.
We're going to fight
this obnoxious decision to interdict these guys. In fact, they deserve commendation.
But they flouted the rules.
What rule?
Okay, so they're saying that there was a non-disclosure agreement that they undertook, not to disclose the details of the draft agreement. And it's in Articles 43.4.7 VII of the CBA, the Collective Bargaining Agreement between TOR and the union.
Let me just assure you, I'm determined to pursue this matter, and I'm putting it on record. I've already sent a signal to the TOR management.
So you are aware of this?
I'm aware of it. I've seen the letters. I've seen the correspondences. I'm aware of the Attorney General's opinion. I'm aware that government has eventually agreed that the Torrentco deal is not good. And that led to a cessation of that agreement. And so to punish these guys, I find it very, very unfortunate. And as a member of Parliament and ranking member on the Mines and Energy Committee, I can assure you that this will not go uncontested. We would use whatever influence we have to ensure that this decision is rescinded. I don't think that is in the best interest of this country. The deal was a bad deal. You went and claimed that you even registered a company on a holiday, no value for money. In fact, if you read the Aegis report, you just throw this deal away. And so TOR had no choice than to back down on this deal that would have costed the nation so much money. And so, Randy, I assure you I'll pursue this matter. This matter will not go uncontested. The TOR management will appear before our committee. When we resume Parliament, we'll use whatever legitimate constitutional means to ensure that the right thing is done. I think that is unfortunate. I think that is unfair. In fact, when I spoke to some of them, they weren't even given a fair hearing. And so clearly, we think that they should not stand. And you see, it's not just this. You know, the SML is also in the pipeline. And clearly, there's another one coming at ECG as well, which is Haptel. ECG management has decided to hand over the whole billing and collection system to a company without going through due process, without allowing for competitive process. This company is supposed to be taking 6% on each sale. And if you read the terms and conditions of that contract, it just beats your mind. And not just that, they are also subcontracting the whole transportation system to another company. I mean, this so-called issue of subcontracting and subletting.
Is it not to bring efficiency? Maybe they're spending too much on transportation. Maybe they don't get efficiency.
When I show you the details,
okay,
you would realize that there's no efficiency there. The cost of rental vis-a-vis the cost of procurement. We've done all the analysis. And you see, the good thing is on the minority side, we have some very good guys. Comrade Anko is there, Boa is there, Bawa is there, and there, Naza and Co, Honorable Pepu, Delasoa. You have some very, very, Muntaka, very good guys there. And so we'll do all the analysis. And when we resume, we'll prove to the world that it's not worth it.
What is it about this Torrentco deal that is not good? What is it about? What is it that is not good?
First of all, they do not have the experience.
The Torrentco?
Yes.
Is it not an international company?
No, they do not have the experience. They do not have the financial capacity. And then the terms and conditions. That's from government itself, not from me.
The AG's opinion?
Yeah, the AG's opinion. They haven't demonstrated capacity.
Who are the members of the toll board? Annie, find me the membership of the toll board. Let me get me the membership of the toll board. Yeah.
So these are the issues. And you see, like, and assuming I'm getting like 50,000, and then I contract you, and my revenue raises from 50,000 to 52,000. That's a rise in revenue. But if I pay you a commission of 4,000, it's a loss. That's how you do the analysis. So you just don't say, oh, before the company came, our revenue was 50,000. And since they came, our revenues is increased from 50,000 to 52,000.
Especially when there's a historical perspective.
That is the point.
That shows that it increes on the basis of increased consumption.
Thank you. Increase in consumption, increase in tariff,
I was going to say rubbish. like a thing that the GRA said to I mean,
that is it.
I wonder if those who drafted the thing will tell their kids in primary 6 the same thing.
They don't do that. That's not how you do investment appraisal. When you're doing appraisal, you discount certain things and account for natural growth and all those things, price increment, inflation, and all that. So we've done the analysis and we are convinced that it's not a good deal. And so when we resume, we would pursue this matter. But let me assure the toll workers that we are with you. You served the interest of this country. You were convinced that it was not good. You raised it. It was legitimate. And government itself, at the end of the day, has come to agree with you that the deal was not a good deal. I think that punishing them is not the best, and we will pursue this matter.
I think my brother was a deputy minister, and at one point a minister of state.
No, I was not a minister of state.
Oh, you're a deputy minister. I was a deputy minister, and very capable one for that matter. And I saw his rise at that ministry, and he had command at the tail end of the government because he was virtually doing almost everything. But look, I think as a minister, it's not for nothing that you do non-disclosure agreements. It's for exclusive, and we sign and swear oath of secrecy and oath of office and all this. It's not for nothing. What they've leaked out, Randy, it's not a final document. It's a draft document. I mean, government position by way of advice from the AG. All the things you are talking about has found expression in what advice the AG has professed to TOR and its board. So why the haste? And if you are celebrating this kind of attitude, that you are privileged to a draft document, and all you could do is to leak the draft document. What's the intention? I mean, you have opportunity to raise all the issues you want to raise there. But leakage, what does that tell you? I mean, we're building a nation, and we must be careful of some of these things. And you see, quickly they are running and they are hiding behind political...
they say whistleblower act.
What is whistleblower act? The person who leaked it has the document in his possession. It's by privilege. What makes you a whistleblower? that Randy, at your management here, somebody has a vital document for this organization and leaked it and say I'm a whistleblower. So what do you do to that person?
So they say that the first thing they did, Sly.
Yes.
They say the first thing they did
was what?
They alerted management about the shortfalls in the deal. And the management told them they can't respond to the issues because the board is solely in charge. Then they wrote to the board. Till date, they have not received a response from the board.
But you see, Randy, I wonder their position in the scheme of things. Look, you could have had opportunity to receive some good alert from people. Okay? There is an ongoing consideration of a matter. And by virtue of the fact that I'm a board chairman, somebody will send you a mail or send you some vital information. It is not in your place to respond to that person. But I'm coming.
I just wanted to read the reasons for the interdiction for you so that you understand what...
I'm coming. I'm coming. Please. So I'm looking at the ethics of their action. The ethics of their action. Because what they leaked is a draft document. Because
so on the basis of what you said, let me read this from Colonel Festus Abwaji.
I'm coming.
Okay. No, on the basis of what you said, and then you can. It says, on the question of the non-disclosure agreement, we must realize that it isn't a matter between private persons. In a democracy, all agreements entered into on behalf of the state must be publicly promulgated.
But you see,
do you disagree?
I think, especially when the matter under consideration is not conclusive.
Okay.
It's not. And each board and management owe it as to this country once the final determination has been made to even publish it. And anybody, I'm not sure if you write to TOR for document under consideration, even under the RTI, they will consider giving you the information. No, it's still under consideration.
As we speak today,
yes.
As we speak,
yes.
As we speak, at least as at last week, Manasseh Azuri Awuni has disclosed that the Ministry of Finance has refused for the second time in about 5 months to furnish him with a copy of the SML contract.
I'm talking about a different matter.
No, I'm just saying.
State agency. They must give reasons. As I sit, where I sit, the Ministry of Finance
invoking RTI.
Yeah, invoking RTI. Yeah. They have no right.
It's not been given.
And if they refuse to give them the documents, there are processes they take them through, and
they will find them. When they find the people who sit there will not pay from their pocket.
Yeah, I've raised that matter before. So, Randy, in deepening democracy, today perhaps it's somebody else. Tomorrow it could be me seeking for information, and one might not say what, because once you refuse to provide the information. So on that note, they have to give reasons why they cannot within 14 days or so, according to the law. But under this circumstance, it's a draft document under consideration. That only,
but that's what I was playing with. The first reason for the interdiction.
Yes.
First reason.
Yes.
Inciting, encouraging the use of threatening language and use of disparaging remarks towards the board of directors. That was the first reason. So that disparaging remarks.
Okay, so you go on. You go on the other reasons. You go on the other reasons. Let's go to the other reasons.
Engaging the media without recourse to management.
Yes.
But the facts don't support that.
They engage the media without recourse to management.
That they needed management's permission.
To engage the media.
No, yes.
Maybe it's part of their
collective bargaining agreement.
Please.
But please, no, John.
Maybe the union wants to have a press conference. And that they should go ahead and ask permission from
maybe they are CBA.
They are CBA. They made reference to the CBA.
You should follow listening though.
No, but you
can disagree. You can disagree. Please. You can disagree if that is part of the CBA.
Today you think that where you sit. If this thing is done to you, if this is done to you as a minister, a matter is under consideration, and you've made a written submission to management, and they've even told you that the board is in charge of this matter. Then you go ahead and engage the media.
And they wrote to the board.
Yes,
and the board did not even oblige them.
So at that material time, you forgone your CBA, and you go public. You leak the draft document.
Why don't we also take on the management and the board?
Taking them
that look, you have no.
You
have a responsibility. No, I'm coming. You have a responsibility.
Randy.
So why don't you engage them and tell them,
Randy,
you're fierce?
Don't they know the document they were leaking was the draft document?
No, just hold on.
They didn't know that.
No, slide.
Please, let's not encourage this in our country.
Slide.
It's like the heads of schools who were charging illegal fees. They were suspended, and people were supporting them.
It is very irresponsible on the part of a board and a management.
To do what?
If the staff have written to you
for what?
Raising issues about a draft agreement, and you fail to engage them, to tell them exactly what you are saying, that, oh, yes, we have acknowledged these things you have written to us. It is a draft. So we are going to consider all these issues you have raised in coming up with a final document. When the final document is ready, you obviously see it, and you see that some of these things, if everybody agrees, have been incorporated.
So, Randy,
is that not how a responsible board and management must also behave?
So what makes this group responsible by leaking the draft document?
They had no other alternative.
What are you talking about?
When
please,
you close all
Randy,
the doors,
what could they have done?
What could they have done?
What could they have done?
Randy,
yes.
They had no other alternative.
Aside.
Yes.
In his submission, he credits the AG's department, the AG, for dealing with some of the issues they themselves.
Because he's privy to it.
He's privy to it.
Yeah, because that led to the AG action.
Please.
It's the agitation.
Please.
Okay.
No,
it's the agitation.
You don't know that for a fact. You don't know that for a fact. You don't know that for a fact.
I know for a fact.
You don't know that for a fact.
Why?
In such agreement, obviously, it would have been referred to the AG for advice.
Yes.
So don't say it is only their agitation that led to it. This highly insubordination and indiscipline on the part of the group, and it has to be suspended for that matter.
Yeah, but like my issue is that what stopped the board and the management on receipt of the letter in telling the association that look, we have forwarded the thing to
it does not also give you the right to do what they did.
I don't have a problem.
Yes,
with you. That's why I raised the issue with JJ about the CBA. So I don't have a right with. I don't have.
So if you are encouraging this kind of things in this country, you become a minister, and this is done to you. How do you feel, JJ?
I don't do that in the first.
I don't have an issue. I don't have an issue with you raising that issue.
I agree with you.
But the truth of the matter is that if what they did, you see, if for example they had gone to the media in the first instance, but if they written to the management, at least the management responded to them. They said, "This one there, we don't have anything to do with the board." Yes.
When these workers agitated, the special prosecutor took an interest in the matter.
Oh.
Wrote to TOP
and
told TOP not to proceed. Then quickly,
yes.
Government realizing that the special prosecutor was getting into that arena, they asked the AG to issue its opinion. This is the chronology of events.
Please.
And I have the special prosecutor's letter here.
But Randy, are you saying agreement of this nature will not require the AG's advice?
They did not intend going there.
Please don't say
I'm
that.
on the Mines and Energy
Committee.
Why were they
I'm not sure the day-to-day
so the point you're making is
will come before the committee.
At the time that the staff held the press.
He doesn't know that for a fact.
They had not gone to the AG.
No. He doesn't know that for a fact. The fact that you're on the Mines and Energy Committee, the special prosecutor orders suspension of before the Mines and Energy Committee. He must stop this. Let me stop this.
Special prosecutor orders suspension of proposed partnership. After that, the AG then goes on to issue this opinion, making a very, very damning revelation about the TOR agreement. That led to the cancellation.
Can you tell us that the AG, out of nothing, no reference, will issue an opinion?
But I'm saying that when government realized.
What do you mean when government realized? 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 Do you know when the referral was made to the AG? Do you know when the referral was made to the AG? Oh, please, JJ, stop this. You were once a minister. You were once commending them for what? If I was here, I would have done the same thing they have done to them. And they deserve it. They deserve it. Everybody listening, it's not for nothing that if you are privileged to official document by virtue of your partisan position, then you leak the document and he's here praising them.
All right.
If we were done to you, would you have been here praising them for that?
Please stop that. When they write to us, we'll respond to them.
All right. Okay. So
Minister and Occupy Ghana raised issues, immediately we invited them to the office. Occupy Ghana.
Please. No, but Randy, what is not good is not good. We must eschew this from our policy.
So let me ask you a
discipline. Look,
this deal,
we have every
SMLD.
No, please. The content of the deal. I'm not discussing the content of the deal.
The SMLD. Did you go to the AG? The SMLD.
Please.
How different is it from the TOR agreement? Did you go to the AG?
Please. No. Please.
Did it go to the AG?
No. JJ. You see, Randy,
what are you talking about?
This issue, we are dealing with a specific matter. You are bringing in other matters here and there. Look, Randy, where I sit.
No, you said such deals go to the AG. And I'm giving you an example of such a deal.
The AG did not profess opinion on the basis of the fact that the matter was in the public domain. A reference was made to the AG for its opinion. It doesn't mean that any other government.
By who?
So, by who? Do you think the AG?
So if a referral was made to have been made by somebody, who referred it to the AG?
I don't know that for a fact, but
That
I
is
know.
the point.
But I know that the AG will not
That
profess
is
an
the
advice in a
point.
vacuum.
So
the AG will never profess an advice in a vacuum. So what are you talking
created
about?
that necessity. And it's the agitation
JJ.
and the special
Granted.
that did
JJ,
so commend them.
Granted that this even led to the board referring this matter to the AG. So long as a deal had not been concluded, it is not in the right of the workers to leak the draft document.
But what prevented
and
the
they think
board
that
from
they are
responding to
proud.
them?
You are urging them.
What prevented
with this
the board?
attitude?
What prevented the board from
Have you read their
responding to the
CBA?
workers?
Have you referred them to their CBA?
What prevented
Please.
the board?
But slide.
Please,
Slide,
from
you see,
responding
the
to
slide,
the
if you
of the
speak
deal.
about discipline, if you speak
The
about
content-
discipline,
the content
it
ways.
is also wrong for the board to have acted the way they acted.
Morally.
Not
Ethically.
morally.
It is not. It is
Yes.
not. I mean, the board, as it were, is not bound.
Unless the board does
The
not,
board is not
unless the
bound.
board does not consider
The-
the union as a stakeholder.
But what I'm saying,
But if they
Randy,
consider them as key
there are two things
stakeholders,
here. There are two things here.
they are
You
bound.
The
You are,
issues are
one,
raised.
you are bound.
Number
the
1,
other
2, and
is
3.
not. So please, the one that you are bound not to, you have broken your own
Boss,
CBA.
1,
You have
2,
broken
and
your
3
own
has nothing
oath
to do with
of
CBA.
secrecy. Then you are asking somebody who is not bound by law to tell you on day-to-day basis what they are doing. So you think you
The
could
whistleblowers act
who is the
supersedes
whistleblower?
the
Who is the whistleblower?
The whistleblowers act
You are
supersedes
privileged,
the
Randy.
CBA.
I gave you a
But
cigar
Sly, I'll tell
example.
you something.
In your management,
Sly, I'll tell you
somebody is
something.
privy to a document,
Sly-
leak it to your opponent.
Sly-
The next moment he says
Sly-
that he's a whistleblower.
Sly, I'll tell you something. I'll tell you something. If subterfuge,
Yes. Yes.
is used in the prevention of crime
Okay.
or the exposure
Okay.
of crime, it is allowed. All those subterfuge is considered unethical.
Yes.
If it is deployed for the purposes of prevention of crime or exposure of crime,
Randy,
it is allowed.
You know,
so to the extent
in
that
different situations,
to the extent
in
that
different situations, courts in many jurisdictions have dealt with this same.
No, I'm talking about Ghana. I'm talking about Ghana.
I said the court in different situations have dealt with this same matter and have conferred different judgment on this matter in different situations. But this case, where today, JJ has jumped to their defense. JJ has jumped to their defense.
The courts were going to a certain direction
encouraging the use of threatening language.
Yes.
And use of
why would you threaten somebody when you are seeking to
towards the board of directors?
But that is wrong.
Why was that?
But why must
did
junior people threaten me?
No, they didn't. I listened. They said that look, as far as they are concerned, they use whatever legitimate and legal means to prevent this obnoxious bill
please.
from proceeding.
I'm sure you wrote that letter for them.
We'll be back shortly.
MTN.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ampedu.
Good afternoon, Mr. Saru.
How is business doing?
My business is collapsing.
Why is your business collapsing?
I sold my products and services to my clients on credit, and my debtors are not paying their debts.
Have you heard of Rosic Consult Limited, a debt recovery company operating in all the 16 regions of Ghana?
Not at all.
Mr. Ampedu, all you need to do is to contact the debt recovery managers. You are assured of swift debt recovery. No recovery, no commission. For Rosic Consult Limited, no more write-offs. And we pre-finance the recovery ourselves.
Hello, my friends. My name is Calcate's Toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky wiser, chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Kel Kids. Happy smile.
Enjoy the fruits of your labor, they say. But as humans, aging and physical infirmity stands our way of enjoying our mansions and homes. It often becomes challenging, if not impossible, to use our stairways day in, day out. With portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators, PVs, you are assured of unlimited enjoyment of your mansions and homes. It's a self-supported elevator for vertical movement of humans and goods at homes and offices. The original comes in 3 custom-made models with wheelchair accessibility. Call it luxury, but it's a necessary imperative for vertical mobility. Do not let aging or infirmity limit you. Get one for your easy vertical mobility at home. It's affordable and can be installed in just 3 days without modification to your existing building. It's however easier to incorporate it at the construction stage. We also have traditional Fuji elevators and escalators for your high-rise buildings and malls. Visit Lifts and Elevators Company Limited at Sakumono for your elevators nationwide. For free consultation to call or WhatsApp us on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators, the elevator people.
Have you been to Aqua Safari lately? Let me share my experience with you at the new Aqua Safari Resort. When you arrive, you're greeted by warm smiles and introduced to your 24-hour butler who already has your itinerary sorted. Enjoy water sports activities like jet ski rides, kayaking, water sliding, flyboarding, and castnet fishing. You can even have your lunch here on the boat cruise. Experience horseback riding, tennis, and some golfing amongst a host of other activities. Let the tour guides take you through the sceneries of the Volta River, the mangrove forest, the friendliness of the animals, local and exotic birds, while you pet and feed them. You can have this large space for your conferences, corporate retreats, and so many activities as part of the package. We chose to have our breakfast with a beautiful sunrise right in front of our cabin. We had an amazing experience and I can't wait to return for more.
Visit Aqua Safari Eco Resort in Ghana, bringing you closer to nature.
To help meet your business and private printing needs successfully, we have just the right products and services. At Appointed Time Printing Limited, we specialize in digital printing, offset printing, packaging and security printing. Our innovative designs and complete professional touch on our print products such as posters, flyers, brochures, magazines, whole cards and any other print solution of your choice ensure that our customers are always happily connected to their audience. With our security printing section, our clients are assured of a highly secured and confidential work process from start to finish. At Appointed Time, our prices are very competitive. Locate us at the old GNTC building near Swansea Shopping Arcade, Accra. Contact us on 0501 454165, 0501 454167. Appointed Time Printing Limited. Our printing is the solution.
For over 20 years of serving the world with herbal and alternative medicine, we've been successful in treating complicated medical conditions with a perfect combination of herbal and alternative methods of treatment like homeopathy, naturopathy, reflexology, and many more. We deliver excellent and effective service to people from all walks of life through scientific and traditional means. We have a well-equipped laboratory with advanced diagnostic and treatment devices to help detect your illness so we know the right medication to be given. At Amen Scientific Herbal and Alternative Medical Hospital, we are proud manufacturers of our own herbal medication. Our zeal and passion to save lives with our patients at heart and outstanding achievements since 1996 has won us several awards. That is why we say, go herbal, go Amen. We are located everywhere in all the regions. Amen Scientific Herbal and Alternative Medical Hospital. Allahu Shafi, God is the He.
We are back, bringing you the latest lineup from Betway. Betway starts strong with their front two, with Free Play Friday and Swipe Bet. In the middle, you've got all the control with Cash Out and Build a Bet. Plus, with Win Boost, you can boost your sports bet. At the back, they have Smart Picks and the Partial Daily Jackpot.
You always get way more with Betway.
Good
morning, Ghana, live on Metro TV. Still with me on the show, I have the Honorable John Jinapo and the Honorable Sylvester Tete. But what does wealth mean to you? Do you want to live like a tycoon? Remember, as God the Mola, God the Power. Ghana's newest lottery game draws live on Adum TV at 9 a.m., 12 noon, and 6 p.m. daily. Now pick up your phones, tablets, and computers and download the Game Pack Games app on Play Store. You can also play on the website at www.gamepackgames.com or by dialing *946# on all networks. Just choose 4 numbers from 0 to 9. It's easy to play and easy to win. Charlie, make we play this game and make some moolah. Nobody beats our odds in Ghana. Game Pack Games, more moolah, more power. This game is regulated by a National Lottery Authority and is not for persons under 18. Play responsibly. And Ayasoku, Betway's cash out just got way better. The enhanced early partial and auto cash out feature lets you cash your bets out early, cash out a portion of your ongoing bets, or even set your bets to cash out automatically. All this to give you way more control over every thrilling bet you place. Sign up today at betway.com.gh. Terms and conditions apply. Regulated. This is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana and is not for persons under the age of 18. Betway gets way more. And the natural absorptive property of charcoal helps to remove the bacteria that produces bad breath in the mouth, hence giving you a fresh breath. Kel Charcoal toothpaste has been formulated and produced under strict hygienic conditions with all the necessary production protocols and has been approved by the Food and Drugs Authority, FDA. Constant use of Kel Charcoal toothpaste gives you a good fresh breath, whiter teeth, reduces dental plaque, makes the gum healthy and strong, prevents cavity, upset stomach, hangover, and so on. Kel Charcoal toothpaste is recommended for adults and children from 6 years. Kel Charcoal toothpaste for white teeth and fresh breath all day long. This is another quality product from Samara Company Limited. Kel Charcoal toothpaste, happy smile. And are you ready for something refreshing, great tasting with excellent flavors? Then drink Angel Cola, your key to enjoyment. Unia, you've got varieties to choose from. Angel Orange for that special occasion. Angel Mango, Angel Peach, refresh your mood. Angel Apple Lime. Angel Drinks produce vitality, maintain fluid in normal balance. Angel Drinks, refreshing, invigorating, and exciting. Angel Drinks are produced by Adonko Soft Drinks Beverages Limited. Angel Drinks taste like our day, and they are recommended for all, including children. You can reach them on 0244832286 and 0507878668. Terms and conditions apply. And if you're looking for that home up the mountain, Kingdom Home Real Estate provides quality but affordable housing facilities for sale. Their facilities are located at the serene environment of Equiapime, Krupa, and Bri with the best weather conditions. They're 30 minutes drive from Accra and provide a modern touch of comfort. They provide a high standard security service plus CCTV, standby generators, constant water supply, and electricity. And Kingdom Home Real Estate properties are surrounded by lovely tourist sites such as the Bri Botanical Garden, Boti Falls, Safari Valley Resort, etc. All you need to do is to pay 70% upfront, and the remaining 30% is spread over a 2-year period with no interest payment. You can locate their Bri properties close to the Bri Girls School and their Kupon properties right after Latte Junction. You can reach them on 0559 761 144 or 0555 621 611. You can also visit their website at www.kingdomhomerealestate.com and also visit their Facebook page. Now, let me also announce to you, our cherished audience, that you can now watch Good Morning Ghana. Also, for playback, you can watch on Spotify and Amazon Music. So you can now, GMG is now available for playback on Spotify and Amazon Music. So if you want a playback of GMG or Good Morning Ghana, you can get that on Spotify or Amazon Music. So we keep putting the program on more platforms so that you can have access to them. Now, we are in an IMF program, and the big deal now really for us is about our external creditors. And we're told that the Economy Times says that the CD may continue to weaken if authorities fail to clinch a deal with external creditors aimed at restructuring some $5.4 billion debts, which would qualify the country in securing the second tranche of the extended credit facility from the IMF. And the delay is also likely to worsen the country's balance of payments as well as its international reserves, which is currently a month import cover as at August 2023. And the Bank of Ghana will this first quarter sell about $120 million to the BDCs for crude oil importation in the country. This is likely to exert some pressure on the country's reserves if the disbursements delay. And but Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta has described the debt restructuring deal with external creditors as a major turning point for the economy. According to him, this should help Ghana fast-track the process to reduce its debt to sustainable levels. He disclosed this on PM Express Business Edition with host George Wiafi, and interview will be aired tomorrow. Thursday, January 18th. Mr. Ofori-Atta explained that agreements with official creditors on the terms for restructuring Ghana's debt did not come easy, but praised the work done by officials of the Finance Ministry, the government, and the cooperation of the creditors in reaching this agreement. This, he believes, shows that all the partners are committed to helping Ghana and restoring debt sustainability in line with the IMF's program targets. And the Finance Minister had been tight-lipped on the details of the term sheet. However, did not rule out December 2022 as a cut-off date. Okay, we're going past there now. But the Finance Ministry, in a statement on January 12, 2024, announced that it had reached an agreement with the Official Creditors Committee on a debt treatment under the G20 Common Framework. And this came after months of negotiations over the cut-off date for restructuring Ghana's debts. However, after that final round of meetings last week, all the members of the OCC agreed on December 2022 as a deadline for restructuring Ghana's debts. The Managing Director of the IMF, Kristalina Georgieva, in a statement welcomed the debt treatment agreement. According to her, this agreement clears the path for IMF Executive Board consideration of the first review of Ghana's 3-year extended credit facility arrangement in the next few days. She added, the government of Ghana looks forward to further engaging with official creditors to ensure prompt implementation of the agreed terms. So, I guess, JJ, the biggest worry had to do with the cut-off date.
Yeah, the cut-off date.
Yes, and we are told by this that the December 2022.
Yeah, but the other one too is that what is the rate?
Okay.
Because you want to haircut.
Explain that. Yeah.
So let's assume that you owe 5.4 billion.
Mm-hmm.
Now you are saying that let's have a cut-off date where I begin to really service.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's December 2022, then I assume that the whole of 2023 we are liable,
mm-hmm.
and that has to be paid.
Yes.
For the whole of 2023, because we've not been paying. The other thing is the debt itself. What interest are you going to pay?
Mm-hmm.
We are yet to see that. I haven't seen the term sheets. Mm-hmm. I just consulted that Honorable Tuforson. But normally, he has been the former ranking member, minority leader, and having worked there, he will normally get me that information. He hasn't seen the details. And for the finance minister to decide not to release the details, we can only wait for the details. Because it's the details that will tell you what exactly we are seeking to do. Because don't forget, you are dealing with 3 main issues. Mm-hmm. The principal,
mm-hmm.
the interest component,
mm-hmm.
and the tenor.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, these are the 3 issues you're looking at. Because the principal is the amount.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to reduce the amount? Are you going to keep the amount fixed? the
That's the
interest
haircut.
component. All our haircut. Because haircut means that you are taking a knock. Even the interest.
Yes.
If I'm due 10% and you decide to give me 5%, you are shaving off what was due me. If the debt was to mature in, say, 2022, and you decide that you will extend it to 2023, depending on market forces, the yield or the present value, because then you have to discount it and look, compare it to similar bonds in the system. I may be losing, because if you paid me in 2022 and there are higher interest like we're experiencing today, I'll quickly take that principal and go and invest, say at 30%. But if you give me an interest of, say, 10%, and you're not paying me the principal and you extend it, and normally these are fixed coupon payments, it means that when you discount it to the present value, I'm going to get a smaller amount today, so I'm losing out. So these are the details. I knew China was really dragging its feet on the cutoff and also the rates in terms of what we're going to pay. The other one too has to do with the conditionalities. You see, the external creditors are saying that the country also has to sacrifice, and that you took their money, you've used it, you're coming to tell them. And China appears to be the most affected. That's why they keep insisting on the cutoff date, so that those loans that were disbursed, like 2023, they will not be affected. So they would stay the way they are. You ought to service them. We are not paying.
You know, initially we heard that China was pushing for 2020.
Yes.
Okay.
So I haven't seen the details, like I'm saying.
But
if you
read
say
this,
it's 2022.
The IMF boss is okay. The story is telling us that all the members of the OCC agreed on the December 2022 deadline for the restructuring.
Yes. So normally you could agree on 2022, but the rate will be different.
Okay.
What interest rate will you be paying? What will be the tenor? What are the other conditions attached to that? We ought to see all that. But you see, the long-term effect of this is that...
Now, before I get to the long-term, let me ask. Now, if the cutoff date is December 2022, the implications are that whatever was due in 2023 must be paid. Is that correct?
Necessarily.
Okay.
Not necessarily. It means that you are dealing with all debts, maybe up to. That's why I said we need to look at the details.
Yes.
So you have debts. We want to treat the debt. And we're saying that all debts from this period, moving back.
So all does it deal with disbursements or signing?
It should normally deal with disbursement. Because if I haven't disbursed the money to you, there's no obligation.
Yes.
There's no
obligation.
obligation.
It means that disbursements as at December 2022.
Yes.
So disbursements beyond December 2022
should not be
affected.
Should not be affected.
Okay.
Unless
now I ask this question because I read an analysis of our expenditure for 2024, and I see a provision for interest payment, and that provision is primarily for domestic interest payments, which means that we have not made any provision for external debt payment in the budget. Is that correct?
It has to be made. I'll pull the budget as we speak, because I know that the IMF insists that, let's assume that nothing has happened. That's why if you look at the 2023 budget, the interest component was higher than the outcome. The IMF will insist that have a worst case scenario. If you succeed, you then get that. But I'll just pull the budget and look at the debt servicing broken down into
because what I have says that government will spend about 119.621 billion on wages and salaries, as well as interest payments 2024. And according to the 2024 citizens budget by the Finance Ministry, this will represent 52.7% of the expected total expenditure of about 226.68 billion. The biggest is compensation, which is estimated at 63.68 billion, whilst interest payment 55.93 billion follows suit. The interest payments will be spent on domestic loans.
Yes, so there should be a foreign component, both interest and amortization, because the two debt servicing has to do with both interest and amortization. As we speak, I'm trying to pull it from the table.
So interest payment has become number 2 as a result of DDEP?
Yes.
Otherwise, it will still be number 1?
It will still be number 1. Okay. It will still be number 1. And the issue with the foreign component is that is contingent on the performance of your currency.
Yeah.
And so you are seeing that our foreign debt is really rising because denominated in a foreign currency, and when your CD depreciates, that is the point. So we would want to see the details. That is one. And also the conditions attached. Because normally when you are doing this, they would also insist that you should also meet certain conditions domestically. And that's why you are seeing that there's an attempt to impose VAT on residential.
There's an imposition or an attempt?
Well, we haven't started paying, so we are waiting to see the effect
we
at the
haven't
end of
started?
the month. Yeah, they've announced that they should calibrate it. So when they calibrate it, by the end of the month, when you go and buy your so I'm seeing.
But is government ready for?
No, the interest payment is 55, domestic is 36, external is 19.
So we've made provision for 19 billion for external.
19 billion for external, 36 for
domestic. Okay.
And the 36 is dropped significantly because of the domestic debt exchange.
Okay.
And then if you look at finance and foreign, amortization is 20 billion.
CDs.
So if you add amortization to the interest payment,
39.
you are looking at about 70 billion debt servicing.
Okay.
That is the provision in the budget. And if you check appendix 3A, page 174.
So plus amortization makes it number one.
Yes.
Minus amortization,
yes. And normally why you don't get too worried about amortization is that you normally do refinancing.
Right.
But having gone through this, it's becoming very difficult now because the whole international community virtually is shut their door to Ghana. And the truth is that it will take a long time.
Even after this international
they won't give their money to you. No, especially with the Eurobond. And we are not done with the Eurobond. No, we are not done with the. We are not going to the Eurobond.
This is minus Eurobond.
This is minus Eurobond. Eurobond is about 13 billion or so.
Okay. So that's a separate discussion.
And that is where, and that should also unlock the third tranche.
Oh.
You see the point? The first domestic unlocks the first tranche. This one, which is the Paris Club plus China and some, then unlocks the second. Then you go to the real Eurobond. And the Eurobond is the toughest. Because these are bilaterals. And bilaterals is very easy to go and plead with China that, look, we are really struggling. Kindly consider. And sometimes this money, all they will do is that maybe some financing that they would have given in terms of ODA, they will use it to offset this debt. And so mostly these countries use about 1% or 1.2% of their total budgetary provision for some of these things across the world. So Ghana will be like a drop in the ocean. But the Eurobond has to do with individuals, institutional investors, and all those people. It's not easy to deal with them. This should be a learning curve for Ghana, that we should never go down this lane again. I mean, it's so unfortunate that we've had to descend this arena. But like all of us are waiting, when we get the details, we'll read the details, look at the real debt situation, and vis-a-vis see how it even affects our debt to GDP. Because don't forget, we have a threshold to meet. I think about 55% over a certain period. And then annually, you must meet a certain target. So we'll wait for it. When it comes, we'll all analyze it and determine the way forward.
Now, I want you to address something before I go to slide. How much of this, what we are going through, and the fact that we are not certain, we now need to go and do it, how much of this has to do with the agitation against e-levy?
I don't understand.
Okay. So there's this viewpoint that if the e-levy had been accepted from the onset and we didn't have the agitation and a delay, this whole IMF thing would not have happened. And we would not have gone through all of this.
That's not true. That's not true.
Because indeed, that is what the finance minister told us. That once we get the e-levy, we will not go through. And I'm sure that you've heard, even on the floor of Parliament and many other places, that it is the agitation by your group and a section of Ghanaians, including myself, about the e-levy. And the fact that it delayed to pass, which then led us to go to the IMF. If we had agreed on the e-levy from the onset, we would not have gone to the IMF and would not have been saddled with all these issues.
Oh, if you listen to the independent experts, The truth is that it's far from the case. And you say, go back to 2021. Don't look at 2022. 2021, we're told to pay COVID levy. We're paid to pay sanitation levy. We're made to pay, like I said, COVID recovery levy. Then they said, oh, the energy sector has some debt. We should pay energy sector recovery levy. Then they said, because of financial sector, they pay financial sector levy. The Minister of Finance told us that when we paid all this, we won't go to IMF. We did that. We did that. So it's not like it's a new development. We paid all these taxes that I've enumerated. Then he came again and said, oh, e-levy is the solution. If you pay e-levy, it will solve the problem. Firstly, there's something you call a tax threshold. In taxation, when you tax beyond a certain threshold, you don't even get the revenues. And I recall that Haruna proposed that, look, for the sake of compromise, why don't we even do 1%? So that would observe it. The finance minister rejected it. And lo and behold, even after implementation of e-levy, the revenues were not just coming. And I think that they did a wrong computation because they assumed that if the money is moving through the value chain, you will just be taxing it that way. It's normally not the case. You normally don't get that. So it failed. But I'm convinced beyond reasonable doubt that e-levy wouldn't have resolved the challenge that we're facing. Because if you look at the enormity of the challenge, the currency was just not holding. And when your currency is not holding, no matter the domestic revenue you raise, you would only be chasing that few currency. And it's normally a structural issue. So clearly, the problem couldn't have been e-levy. This, taking into account that they made a revenue target. Because it's a revenue basket you are looking for. If you look at the 2023 budget, and I have the provisional figures here. 2023 revised budget, 108 billion. 2023 projected, 107 billion. So the revenue target has been met, with or without e-levy. So e-levy couldn't have been the reason. The revenue targets were met. The problem is that, look, we had borrowed through the roofs. It was unsustainable. And the truth is that, look, we should learn from this and stop blaming e-levy. Because I'm giving you the figures. Randy, I have appendix 2B, page 171. You wanted 108 billion. You ended up with 107 billion. And when you take the full details, it means that the shortfall was only 800 million. I mean, we can't go to this level of bankruptcy because of less than 1 billion revenue difference. No. The facts does not support that at all. The facts are here, and the facts speak for themselves. So if anybody comes to tell you that e-levy was the cause of running to the IMF, I disagree. I disagree.
Let me bring you in. External debt restructuring, deal with external creditors marks major turning point for economy. That's according to the finance minister. But as you heard, JJ says we don't know the details yet. But at least what we know is that there is a movement from the cutoff date of 2020 to the December 2022, which government proposed. The other details were yet to find out. And we are told that this is also minus Eurobond. So Eurobond will be the third level.
Yes, Randy, I think it hasn't been a pleasant news for all of us. And when I say all of us, irrespective of where you stand, you may attempt to take advantage of the situation as it is. The reality is that you are Ghanaian. And this same economy you'll be seeking to manage if you are given the responsibility. I think that the finance minister had made some revelations, and we are hoping that the outcome or the details as we expect it will be in the best interest of our country, at least for now. What that seeks to do is to offer you opportunity to be able to put your house in order. That is why if you look at the JPEG, the programs put in place, the roadmap is to ensure that fiscal discipline is to ensure your revenue mobilization, maximization of your revenue, and then to ensure that you streamline your expenditure so that you come out of this situation we find ourselves. If you look at amortization and interest payment, it's down because of this debt exchange we are doing. It doesn't mean it will be forever. So in a space where you have this leeway, what are you doing with it? That is more critical and more important. So like you say, we all don't have the details, but there are some hints, even from the IMF, that Ghana will soon clinch a deal to have the second tranche of it, which is very, very vital and important. The state of our economy today, what will $600 million do for our economy to be able to give us that respite, to propel businesses to be able to generate more revenue? I've always said that the only group of people who pay and pay more without complaint is when the businessman is doing well. Obviously, any amount of tax, the businessman is willing and able to pay. I mean, not that we are not willing, but ability to pay our taxes are more often than not the situations we find ourselves. Where I sit, I've reviewed many countries' proposals. Ghana is not the first country to have proposed the e-levy. And like you said, the expectation of the e-levy is to enhance revenue mobilization. And of course, for revenue target, the fact that you set a revenue target and you exceed it does not mean all your problems are solved. These are projections. And when you have opportunity to make more, naturally it goes to help you and it goes to help the country as a whole. So for me, I don't think that the fact that you had a projected revenue outflow, inflow, what it means is that all your problems will be solved. We hope that this is the base to which we want to manage our economy. In that same budget that projected these revenue expectations had some difficulties that if you have had more money, would have solved them as it were. Nonetheless, I think that we did not really look at the e-levy thing carefully and do proper, how do I put this, expert opinion on the matter, because we had many countries who had gone that journey and they had to withdraw as it were. Yes, all of us were worried about the strength with which the NDC were opposing the e-levy. I think that, like you said, at one point in time, the then minority leader had even proposed 1%, to the extent that his own people are taking him on, that even the 1%, they will not pay for that e-levy. We cannot say that even though if the revenue target were missed because of miscalculation or expectation, their stance against it did not affect it. They cannot say that their stance against it. I mean, you've had leading members of the NDC who said by virtue of that e-levy, they will stop using transactions that will affect them. They've said it on this show. And I think that their position against it itself is not healthy. And it hasn't helped anybody at all. If a revenue is missed, a PESWA is missed by virtue of your actions, then you are not patriotic enough. And I think that, in a nutshell, we all have to be blamed that for the fact that I think that any revenue stream proposed is not 100% proof that you are going to get this. It's an expectation.
What do you say to those who say that government is just fixated on revenue? It's not expenditure.
No.
And that it is the people who say that if expenditure, government learns to cut its expenditure, it will not, because I find, just a minute, I find people who say that they even find it embarrassing that a taxation to production government will be heaping taxes upon taxes upon taxes upon taxes upon taxes on the people.
Randy, I've always maintained. I'm coming.
If you look at the interest payment itself, the domestic, in 2023, we budgeted 27. We project to end with 25. So the real saving is 2 billion.
No, but
from the domestic, is the external.
Yes,
which is moving from 17, we'll be ending 9 billion. You know why? Because we've decided we won't pay. So if you strike the 17 billion, the 9 billion, then it tells you that the 17 minus 9, the difference, 8 billion, is what we've decided we wouldn't pay in terms of debt servicing. So it's very difficult.
No, but JJ, one would agree with me. I mean, it's truthfully, like I said, it's not a good thing for anybody. And these are accumulations over time. I mean, we must all be mindful that this debt we are talking about are not debt accumulated overnight. There are some obligations that we inherited. Even John Mahama inherited some debt obligations from. I mean, there are projects that the NDC laid claims to. Drawdown came under the it was things that started from MPP. The drawdown came under their regime. There are some we inherited, debt that the drawdown came during President Akufo-Addo's term and all that. So we must see this as collective. I like that conversation. What are we doing to curtail or check our expenditure? It hasn't been free for all. We all know where we're coming from, where the combined effect of your revenue against your expenditure. When the expenditure was going up, your revenue was coming down. We knew how these things affect our revenue mobilization, the downgrading and the inflows that we're getting all seized. Obviously, you were pushing a tight economy. It's a growing economy. So clearly, we should be looking at the expenditure side, not only the revenue side. We've all made the argument that until we expand the revenue, tax to revenue has been extremely low. That's why some of us were looking at avenues to increase our tax to revenue. It's one of the things that all the agencies, rating agencies look. You can't be doing tax to revenue lower than your peers in the sub-region.
But I disagree with that.
I'm coming.
And I'll prove to you why it's not true.
JJ.
You finish and I'll tell you why it's not true.
These are things that we have to, even if you are doing same as your peers and all that, I still think that you have opportunity to expand your tax net, not necessarily looking at the same direction that your tax revenue is coming from. You must look at other revenue streams to be able to mobilize revenue for your country. Not only mobilization, but then you have to look at the expenditure, control expenditure, and then make investment that will bring or yield results, as it were. So I think that as a country, over time, we've been consistent in going to the euro market to show up our capital that are not exposed us so much. But when those opportunities were blocked, obviously your back is exposed. And I think that if you look at the document prepared to the IMF and then giving us the first tranche and all that, there are timelines, there are conditions already attached to it. These external debt exchange details, I'm not privy to speak to it because of the terms, the cutoff point, the conditionalities, as I said, that are going to come. I mean, nobody will give you his money expecting returns on a particular date. The moment you shift the date, obviously it counts with the cost. That's where the negotiations are. And if you have been assured by the finance minister that good times, it won't be as bad as people are speculating. But for some naysayers, obviously, they wish that this country collapse to take over the helm of affairs.
Unfortunately,
yes,
the finance minister doesn't appear to be the person whose assurances.
I hope that can be relied upon. I hope that is not. No, but I mean, it's not coming from him alone. You read the response from the IMF boss.
That's for them there.
No, but they are the people you are dealing with, and of course, there are institutional creditors that are equally important, like he said.
So, Sly, let me ask you this.
So,
if under the IMF program, we have adopted this quarterly review of electricity rates,
tariffs,
and in the last 1 year or so, over 1 year, we have had all these increases. I think it was just the last quarter
it came down,
that we had that 4% or something decrease. And I could tell why that happened. Now, I can tell why that happened. We seriously believe that the application of VAT on domestic usage minus Lifeline, and mind you, this same, your government has reviewed Lifeline from 1 to 50 to 1 to 30. And I'm told that the 1 to 50 category, the 31 to the 50 constitutes the majority. Such that if you reduce the Lifeline, so maybe 1 to 50 could be 1.7 million consumers. But immediately you change it, the 31 to the 50 could even constitute about 60 or 65%.
I mean, are you speaking to specifics or you are speaking to?
Yeah, no, to specifics.
No, I just want to be sure.
Yeah, to specifics. That's in fact, that's the reason why Lifeline was reduced from 50
just to have the numbers
to 30, so that you can get a lot more people falling into the bracket. we sincerely, your government sincerely believes, or our government sincerely believes that.
Yes, our government.
It's because it's an MPP government. That's why.
So you are not MPP government is not your government.
That's why they say ruling government.
Yeah, so say our government.
Our government, yes, it's the government of Ghana.
I love that. So say our government, yes.
Government of Ghana, which is run by you.
Including your good self.
No, which is run
by the people, for the people, and by the people. You are part of it. Don't check your responsibility.
Okay.
This body.
Minus me.
Oh, minus you. You are not part of it.
The reduction was 1.5, not 4.
1.5%. Okay, yes. Thank you for the question. Now, you seriously believe that after all this quarterly thing, we can impose VAT on domestic consumption of electricity, and that people in all this difficulty will be able to deal with it?
Randy, there hasn't been a time that any tax proposer has not met such explanations from you. It's always been like this.
Yes.
I mean, I remember the VAT, introduction of VAT.
Yes.
To the extent that it led to people going to the street and all that. There will never be any tax proposer that will not be met with the kind of explanation you are giving. There's always a hardship.
But some are more severe.
I mean,
if electricity penetration is over 80%.
The severity you are talking about is subjective.
Really?
Yes, it's subjective because as you sit here today, no tax that you propose today, where people will tell you, we are comfortable to pay this tax. But it doesn't mean that people are comfortable or will ever be comfortable.
But it depends on what is imposed on.
Yeah.
So yeah, it depends on what is imposed. This one is direct too.
I remember.
You will start paying electricity bill.
All of us will pay. But
no, I mean for your constituents.
Oh. Are you cursing me? No, but Randy, for me,
I mean, seriously,
it is not a joke.
Yes.
To me, even you,
at
our level, the consumption rate, we are not.
The more you consume,
the more you consume, the more you pay. So people are going to be mindful of the rate of consumption and all that. And I think that we should begin to explore alternative energy sources.
It also comes with this downside. When you reduce consumption, it comes with this downside.
Of course. I mean, these are hard decisions.
So you have to be very careful.
Yeah. Seriously speaking, I think that we pride ourselves as one of the highest penetration rates in terms of electricity. And largely, you'll find most of these people in cottage industries around the country. And if we are promoting that, we have to be looking at the component as we put on some commercial usage in order not to affect even small-scale businesses around the countryside where they are located, the cost of doing business and all that. It has its own downside, like you said. There's no tax proposal that is so welcome. Everybody will have it. But I think that where we find ourselves, Randy, we are looking at the numbers. You need to balance it. In balancing it, I think that we should explore more but if it's a wholesale, a lot more people, what constituted the lifeline previously and what is constituting the current description of who falls under the lifeline. You have to look at that with respect to income levels, location, and all that, and ability trend as to how people pay their bills and all that. But you see, it's becoming so convenient because we are all gone tech. So people may pay that they may not even feel it as it were. That is where the problem is, because if you have to do this by way of electronic purchase, so people don't really feel it. But those who really look at the numbers over time, you realize that people will see it. Unlike before, there have to be a manual calculation and all that. But I think that in a nutshell, it's not something too healthy. For even me, where I sit now, it is not too healthy. But we hope that we'll have to work ourselves. I'm hoping that we'll be increasing the threshold of lifeline to even a higher level. But if you are coming down, that's more serious. I was hopeful that we could have maintained the lifeline range, at least, to be able to help those people. And even extend it to some cottage industries around the country. That is what will curtail the rural-urban migration and to be able to have a primary processing of our raw materials to be feeding for secondary processing and all that. So these are things that we should be looking at holistically. In an attempt to get out of our current financial situation, we must not be taking decisions that will have a long-term repercussions on our economy. And I think that let's wait for the details of what we are negotiating for.
JJ, what are you able to tell us on this?
Yeah, the first quick one is this issue of taxation. It's like maybe you might also want to research on that. It has to do with the classification.
Okay.
Yeah.
What we classify as tax revenue and what we classify as non-tax revenue.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day,
I heard you argue on that.
Yes.
Before.
If you don't, in the Parliament, I showed it. If you don't classify it well, you might say that your tax revenue compared to Cote d'Ivoire or Togo is low. But it's the burden on the consumer. If you load it in levies at various departments and agencies and use capping and realignment to take that money back, you might see a lower tax revenue, but the burden on the ordinary Ghanaian is very, very high. And I think that is very, very important. That's it. Two is the electricity thing. Not only has the lifeline been reduced, they've also collapsed the bundles.
So just hold on. Let's take it bit by bit. I hope that we can do this in 5 minutes. The lifeline, 1 to 50, we're told that that constitutes about 1.7 million.
Yes.
Now, the reduction from 1 to 50 to 1 to 30, which means that 30.1 to 50 are excluded. What are the implications in terms of numbers?
So the implications is that you are having a huge number of people falling into a bracket where they will pay high, simple, than before.
People who hitherto were excluded.
And they've done that even with income tax.
Yes.
Income tax now, they've lowered the threshold. So more people have been brought into the higher income tax bracket. So I think I took a screenshot. I'll just give you the figure. So let's assume that if you earn 50,000, you pay 5%. When you reach 60,000, you pay say 10%. So when your next 60,000, which is like the next band, you pay higher. They've lowered it to say 40,000, which means that once you earn 40,000, you'll be paying more because it's graduated in that order. So that is the same with the electricity now. Not just that. What I have seen in terms of the tax computation is not just VAT. There's Get Fund, there's NHIL, and there's a fourth component that also, I think ECOWAS levy also.
On electricity?
On electricity. And they are not just taking, like we used to do. You know, during our time, 17.5% VAT.
They've disaggregated. And
it's
calculated
not just
like that.
Escalating. So they will take, maybe you
so there's a certain compound effect.
There's a compounding effect, a cascading one.
Yes.
So, you see, they are loading their pain onto the Ghanaian.
The last time I looked at the calculation minus the ECOWAS, it was a little under 22.
That is it. So effectively, that's why you call the effective tax rate. You will see nominal rates, but the effective tax rate, which is what really hits you, is around 22%.
So you should be expecting to pay 22% more of your consumption, as tax, as VAT.
As tax. And anytime PRC increases the tariff,
you pay 22%
because of
of
exchange rate
yes.
and that. When your tariff increases and the VAT component and all this also.
Yes.
So it's a serious matter. Look, people are going to have it very, very tough. And look at the rate of inflation. And you say that's also the thing too about the rate of inflation. If you calculate it year on year. And we've done this before. You have 100 CD, you increase 100 CD by another 100, it's 200. You increase by another 100, it's 50%. But in effect, it's increased by 100. So when you are seeing a certain low rate of inflation, be very careful. It doesn't mean, first of all, even prices are going down. But because it's over and above, then where a year where you have a very high inflation, such as 2022, 2023, it's only normal that the preceding year you would see the rate of inflation being
low. The subsequent years?
Yes, but then the subsequent years. But then the impact on you is very, very high, and then your rate of salary increment is also low. So look, people are going through terrible, difficult moments. It's tough for people. And I'm surprised the government can decide that they want to impose VAT on residential consumers at this critical hour. You've imposed all these taxes. You've given us a haircut on our investment. You've extended the maturity period. You've asked workers to sacrifice in terms of their wages and all that.
No, but the wages were increased recently.
By what?
Oh, it
By
did
what?
about 15%.
And against what rate of inflation?
No, but
my salary
please,
is 10
please,
cedi.
please,
You've increased it by
please.
15%.
The haircuts are not for free. These are payment we have. It's been deferred, but obviously they are payment that we have to pay.
No. The interest component has been reduced.
So
you don't know that.
I know, but
the interest component has been reduced.
Don't make it look like you are losing out completely. That is a please.
You are losing out. That's a fact. And I'm saying that when you increase my salary by 15%, and the rate at which prices are increasing is 25%, I'm worse off. Even if you had given me the rate of inflation, then I'm at parity. I'm not worse off. I'm not better off. But when inflation is 20-something%, and you increase my salary by 15%, I'm worse off.
I haven't seen when you were in power, you were increasing
salaries.
Check the figures. You were increasing salaries by rate of
you
inflation.
Go and check the figures.
Minimum wages are now your tenure.
I have the figures. Check the figures.
Please,
so clearly, you are having a very, very, very difficult situation. I hold the view that this is not the time to impose VAT on residential consumers. Because I've always regarded residential consumption.
When will be the time?
And not in this very current. No, okay. Why is it that all that while we didn't impose it?
From 2013.
Yes. All that while we've never imposed, residential consumers have never paid VAT.
Mm-hmm.
So why is it that we didn't say that, oh, this was the time, this was the time? Why should it be now? There should be enough, they should be justifying why.
We're on an IMF program.
So it's the conditionality.
Yes.
And we've gone to the we've gone to the IMF severally.
So
this is the only IMF program.
On electricity, there are two fronts. One is the quarterly adjustment, and two is the imposition of VAT on domestic consumption.
And the lowering
of the lifeline.
And the collapsing of the banks.
Jesus Christ.
Please,
Four.
Please, JJ.
Why, you disagree that the banks have been collapsed?
No, but what do you mean the banks have? Is it part of the conditionality of the IMF to collapse banks?
We are talking of the hardship that the people are facing.
Please, when you want to go into this...
we're talking of the hardship that is confronting the ordinary Ghanaian.
No, you are talking of conditionalities.
No, we're saying that as for the taxes...
Collapse of
so, like for example, if I were in band one, and in band one, this is how much I was paying. Let's say, is it kilowatt hour? How do you calculate it? Per kilowatt hour. Okay. Now, now the band is collapsed in such a way that I am now, where I'm in band one, I now go to band two, where I pay maybe 50% more per kilowatt hour.
Is that knock on you?
No, but Randy,
and then I was within 31 to 50, or even 50 to 80. And now it's been changed. And now my 31 to 50 I've been taken out of lifeline.
Let me say
then the third one is that there is now a quarterly adjustment.
But the fourth one, there's also been trend analysis of people who have been in a certain band for a very long time based on analysis. You've mentioned that. We also need to credit them. Oh, please.
I mean, that's what
we also need to credit them of some analysis. I'm not sure it is out of the blues that day.
No, it's just to get more people to pay more.
No, but it cannot be the only consideration. It cannot be.
What else?
No, but
what else is for the VAT?
Oh, please.
No, what you tell us? I mean, we are ready to learn. We are all learning. What else could account for VAT?
This is a country over time. People might have been on a certain band over time. You realize that, look, the economic situation around the time. We increased this, how do we call it? Threshold of life line before. We've increased it before.
No, you've never.
No, we did.
Oh, I mean that sector.
No, we did. It was not like this from...
It's always been 50 during my time.
Yes, so it's been 50 during your time. And then you look at where the people... Yes, so I'm saying that there might be other consideration other than...
So you tell us.
No, I'm saying that, look, the fact that I don't have it, I'm not sure people look at your face and say, all of you want to tax you, so go. There might be other considerations. And that's what we should be speaking to. So I'll find out further and better particulars. Right. It cannot only be the consideration for taxation.
On this depressing note, let's end it here.
Are you depressed?
I am.
Okay.
Even like listening to my brother, no, but seem not to be happy.
He's not.
No, but Randy, I've told you that any amount of taxation have a toll effect one way or the other on all of us. So it is not a pleasant news anywhere in the world that you are being slapped with taxes. So, but you look at the circumstances.
You know the generic name for what has happened over the past 2 years.
You are going to describe it.
So you call it tax at all.
So for me, I think that this will not be forever. It's a period we are going through.
No, there are no sunset clauses.
So your friend Koyo Chumbafu has it says tell Sly to stop the waffle and tell us why they've taxed us. Now taxing acquisition Uber. He said that's. He said does taxi acquisition not constitute the biggest nuisance ever? Why are you taxing our only refuge from this storm of doom and gloom? He says there's another ugly one with electricity charges called service charges on meters that are increased without notice.
The PSC does that. But you know there's also now what you call non-lifeline taxes.
Which one is that?
Non-lifeline, like if you insure your vehicle.
Yes.
Motor vehicle or not, you are going to be taxed.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now that's the worst part. So you know it was during the Christmas that Edgar Redu brought it to my attention.
Yes.
You know that now the third party insurance. There will be VAT on it. Comprehensive.
It's subject to VAT.
Even those who insure
their
homes, the buildings against burglary, every form of insurance.
Yes, subject to VAT.
VAT.
Yes.
That 21.9%.
Yes, subject. In that cascading effect again.
So in fact, the DVLA, the people have been notified. The National Insurance Commission has notified. So third party is going up by that. All insurances from 1st of January. VAT will be on it.
Serious. Look, this country must be rescued.
So let me ask you, JJ.
Yes.
Let me ask you, JJ. In an unlikely event that you win power, you are going to remove all these taxes?
The first thing is to prioritize your expenditure.
And the data shows you are beating about the bush. You tell Ghanaians, they are watching. Are you going to remove all these taxes? Tell us.
Hold on.
We are closing the show.
We'll be honest with the people of Ghana. There's one thing we didn't do is to deceive them. That one I can assure you, President Mama, will not do that.
JJ.
And the data shows that.
Ask a simple question. Why are you going around
our expenditure? And that is very important. Capital expenditure. If you look at the ratio, we double you in all instances. And when you do that, you can then have a situation where the tax burden will be less. It's as simple as that.
I ask you a simple question.
The what?
When in an unlikely event, which I don't see it anyways, you get power, are you going to remove the taxes?
That is not even a question for anybody to answer. It's not a question.
Okay.
The question now is that in the likely event that we win
I rest my case.
Are we going to increase the taxes the way you are increasing them? And the answer is no.
The one you think is obnoxious, the one
the answer is no.
Today, are you going to remove them?
Look, that is not even a question that
why is it not a question? It's a question I'm asking you. Because you are taking it to the extent that you are impugning wickedness. And the thought and the process, you are impugning. You are impugning. Randy says he's depressed. So for somebody like Randy,
VAT on
I'm asking you
21.
I'm asking you, Randy who is depressed. Everybody's watching. Randy is so depressed.
No,
are you saying in an unlikely
event? If you want to put VAT on electricity, why don't you even apply a flat rate? That's all. Like a 5% flat rate.
Yeah, Randy. Yes, that's a suggestion.
But 22%.
All those will be on the table.
That's wickedness.
JJ.
We will put people
in unlikely event.
We will review all these things when we come. Don't worry. Let us come. At least life was better.
Look into
the cameras and tell them the Ghanaians.
Tell them
your tax
rate.
Look
into the cameras.
Let me do that.
Look into the cameras.
Your tax rate was better under Mahama than Akufo-Addo.
Is that not a fact?
The simple question is that
whether you are going to remove them or not.
The tax burden under Mahama. Let me answer you. No, the question.
Simple question.
So let me answer.
Are you going to remove them or not?
And let me answer that.
Are you going to remove
the tax rate under?
Let me answer.
Or no. Can I answer? If
you don't explain.
So let me answer.
Or no.
It will be yes because the tax incident under Mahama will be less than yours. That's a fact.
That is what
look,
JJ
Ghanaians,
just
vote. Look at Mohammed's administration.
All these
4 years. And Akufo-Addo's administration. What was your tax rate?
Member of Parliament.
If your tax burden was better under Mahama, vote for President Mahama. If your tax burden is better under Akufo-Addo, vote for Akufo-Addo.
You've captured it.
But you don't teach me how to answer my question.
Okay. I know what my tax burden was, and I know what it is now. All right. All right, after GMG Trends, thanks gentlemen for joining me.
so esan afcon ninti sa uta dia wa high sense ya waso jo high sense go an ma 5 years manufacturer defect warranty sa afcon radio ya mani je no anya double if you say high sense mo hama high sense ya dey wanna to football so esan football ninti high sense she kakra wo hu.
Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. Time to check out what is trending on social media with Desi. Good morning.
Good morning, Doc. To see you in 2024.
Yes. By the special grace of God.
By the special grace of God.
We're here.
Yes, we are here. I saw those beautiful pictures from the distance.
And Jubilee.
Yeah, fantastic. Oh, look, you say 50 looks good on you. It's a fine man. On that note, let me zoom straight into what is trending. The one and only Koku Anyidoho is trending. He's in the trends. That is about everything that happened when a group of people went to the presidency, spoke to the president, and then the family of the former president, Timos, came out that they do not know them as family members, and so they don't know where they're coming from. And on Newsbeat yesterday, we spoke to the spokesperson of the family who says that, you know what, very soon they may have to take action against Koku Anyidoho. And so with all of these things, a lot of people have been sharing their thoughts about it, that some are saying that why is Koku so with the corpse of former president at Mills? Why? Daniel says that do not play politics with a respected ex-president of the country. Don't do that. You lose the respect people give you. So that's what Daniel is saying to Koku. Our Mohammed says, Massa, all this, why? Mills, why? Can't you think and care about yourself and your family a little bit? That is from Awam Mohammed, writing that on social. So there's a quote from the interview we had yesterday with the spokesperson of the Atomos family. Says that Honorable Koku Anyidoho put out the autopsy report of his child. Okay, has he? I thought that was quite a low one. Anyway, why is he seeking to do that with Professor Mills? He's not a member of the family, and this year we will not give him that chance. That is from the spokesperson of the family.
So Professor Mills died almost 12 years ago?
Yes.
Okay. So Professor Mills has a wife?
Yes.
Who's alive?
Yes.
The former First Lady?
Yes.
He has a son? Who we all know? Huh?
Yeah.
He has at least two brothers who are in the public space that we know.
Yeah.
Dr. Cadman Mills.
Yeah.
And then the MP. One is currently in Parliament.
Yeah.
Samuel Atta Mills. Listen to me carefully. He has a wife.
Yeah.
A wife he wed.
Yes.
Mrs. Mills is there.
Mills, yes.
He has a son. He is alive.
Yeah.
He has at least two brothers, Dr. Cadman Mills and a sitting MP.
Yeah.
And we say who is asking for what?
Oh, Koku. Koku says he worked closely with him.
Please.
So he has become family.
Go on. Find something else to do.
So that has been in the trends. A lot of people not happy about this move by Koku Anyidoho. Well, we'll follow through on that and bring you some more. But also trending on social media, the Black Stars of Ghana. Ghana Black Stars. Ghana Black Stars. Aye. Well, you've heard Ajukum. Ajuta. I was watching the ball with my old boy. And this man, I can't cry because that why it costs. And if you say they pop it, Anyway, a lot of people have been talking. names have been popping up. So in the transits today, you find Black Stars, you find players, Salisu trending, you find Ransford trending. All of them are trending, right? People are not happy. Clement says that all the teams participating in the ongoing AFCON tournament, the players are very forceful and doing well for their nations, except Ghana Black Stars. So bad. But the players shouldn't forget, if they fail, they should bring back our Kente. This one says that, Charlie, to be real, after watching other teams like Senegal and Algeria, although they play draw, you can say that the Black Stars have no hunger or drive and no sense of urgency. Until they wake up, we are going to be humiliated. Sam Tuga says, Massa, this is not what we're expecting from Black Stars. Since I was born, I've never seen Ghana winning any trophy. Sam Tuga writing that. And Kelvin Nketia says, can't believe I'm now feeling the defeat well. Ghana Black Stars party. That's Kelvin Nketia writing that. Finally, this one says that the GFA must forget these foreign-based players and give the local players chance to play for the Black Stars because they are hungry and they'll give out their best. And on Okodo, AFCON 2024.
Do you know the ship dealer?
I know you.
Have you seen his video about Kente?
No, have you seen that?
Oh,
ship dealer.
Yes, ship dealer. He has a video about Kente. He says that if we don't win the cup, the players must return the Kente, and that it is not their money.
No,
I saw a video and last night somebody sent the video to me.
They should return the Kente.
He said we will collect the Kente.
We will collect it. We collect it from Abidjan. From Abidjan. They break out to look.
We have 2 more games to go.
So we are hopeful.
Oh, we have 2 more games to go. And I mean, you can't run away from the disappointment of the first game. I mean, the performance was quite terrible.
Below par.
But we can only hope that the 4 or 5 days that they've had between the first game and the Thursday game will be utilized to do something. Yes.
As we face Egypt.
Yes. Yes. I mean, this is a competition that I believe 4 points could earn you a qualification because of the format. Yes, the third best place things. But of course, I mean, a lot of people say Ghana should not be aiming for that. I mean, we're bigger than that and all that. But I think that Thursday will be a defining moment. A lot. I mean, whether people would have renewed confidence in the team and some hope in the team will be dependent on what we see on Thursday. I think that the performance on Thursday is what will tell people whether indeed we need to still have some hope and confidence as far as this competition is concerned. Or whether we should give up. So for me, a Thursday game is a make or break. And everybody has a responsibility. I mean, the players have a responsibility to do a lot more. The coaches have a responsibility to do a lot more, you know.
Look, listen to some of the commentaries. People are asking, tablet, you know, now assistants on ground, then also, because like always in the press the tablet up.
I hope so people know the things that they watch something else.
So what is it? Every time you want to hear, we have the video. Oh, Shimjila, we have the video.
Ghana tradition and Kora Abidjan. Now with the empty-handed. Grand finale, Kura, say grand finale, normally empty-handed by people so myself. To my where you woman told. Master, no question, I'm catching way woman talk. On my own, I didn't know Mukwa. I'm moving to my mind. What be any water to money back? You're back here to my. You pick up outside the empty hand. To tune to my own same for Ghana tradition and Kora Abidjan. Now with the empty handed. Grand finale, Kura, say grand finale, normally empty handed by people so myself. To my mind.
Where you woman told. Master, no plan, I'm catch a way woman talk. On my own, at the Mamma of that mama.
What do airport now? I say, yes. For the Brabo. For the Fabra.
Ship dealer.
Black take the Fakumo between the oh, that day. Anyway, we hope for the best on Thursday. Yes, anyway, from that, let's talk about the elections because Ekuadonko has brought out this thing for the 2024 elections. She has some good. Oh, yes. Ekuadonko.
Okay.
Ghana Freedom Party. So, as they move, you see. All right. So, one, free port, clean water and free water bill, free electricity bill. Petrol will be refined.
You'll be given the bill, but it's free.
Yes.
Okay.
Farmers' needs, I will provide. Farmers who are 40 and above will be on pay list for pension. Free cutlass for farmers. No offenses. Which one is that one? Non-employment. Non-educated will be employed. There will be money for the farmers to enlarge their farms. There will be a representative of every trade in Parliament. Local languages will be allowed in Parliament and court. Oh, that one there.
Fulanis will be deported.
That one there.
Arrested loan defaulters will be freed.
Will be freed.
Quick loan. Then the MTN loan people. They'll be freed.
They'll be freed. They'll bet you on now. This one will say, "What's your maka? You never me. I don't go with your maka." Anyway, then the 2024. I mean, the end of the year to election. But schools have reopened. This is the final one. Schools have reopened. KNUST reopened. And I said, gentleman, I don't know his motive for going to school. But Doc, watch this video. Okay, so this gentleman orientation, he says that his teacher told him that KNUST has the most beautiful girls in Ghana. So that was his motivation for writing WASI and going to tech.
Yeah, that's maybe for extracurricular reasons.
Now this is a orientation, and this is the first thing you're able to say.
But at least he was able to study, to pass, make the mark to enter KNUST in order to fulfill his ambition. I'm sure if he's told that at the master's level there are more beautiful women, he will pass.
He will continue there. Yes. That's right. On that note, that's a wrap up there.
You know, Shimdila, I suspect that he has eyed the day I use cloth.
Yeah, it is so. And then the height here pay. On that note, please try and mention Ransford, Yeboah, Connoy stuff. I'm hearing some weird names. People are mentioning something. Don't get it. Connoy stuff.
I just say Ransford, Yeboah, and there. Yeboah or Yeboah. The man has Yeboah at the back of his shirt.
Is that it? Was sign?
Eh?
I didn't know the sign.
No, the back of his shirt.
At first it was Connoy also.
Connoy. Like I'm mentioning Ghana protest that we have fielded the foreign.
Connoissed. On that note, have a connoissed.
Can you imagine what this guy's name was going to do to the Agopramanso people?
Yeah. I'm for did you? You want to Connoy? That's it for the trend today. My name is Destiny Star Boy. Shouts to all of you, all those who made my Christmas nice. Shouts to you.
How's Kumasi? Did she come around for Christmas?
I went on
it's
a break.
Okay, don't answer.
I went on a break.
No, it's fine.
I went on a visit around
Kumasi.
Yeah.
So you went to her. You went to see her. You went to see her.
On that note, yes. Hey, dog, I'm full.
All right, so we need to go.
We'll pray for the black stars.
And hand over to the Connoisseur people. Metro Sports. We'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Ghana tradition and Kora Abidjan. Now with the empty-handed. Omuko grand finale kura na say koye grand finale no the empty-handed by people so masem omomfian to mama he way you woman to masa no kura na mka way woman to oman no na ede ma omukwa omfian to mama he obi ani wo de to ma ne be ko ya be gem to ma.
In Ghana is brought to you by
MTN.